Hey everybody, and welcome back to Terraria! Last time, we defeated the Moon Lord, the ultimate final boss awaiting us at the end of the game, and saved the world, or so I can tell. I mean, the credits started rolling, we must have done something right? This time, it has been over a year since I started that playthrough, and it's been a little over half a year since I finished it. And since then, I have pumped another 100 hours into this game, which is not as much as I was predicting, but still a lot. I've learned a lot, I've checked out a bunch of content, and yeah, there's a ton of extra content in this game that I didn't get around to in the playthrough, and so I'm going to do what various, Let's Play YouTubers, I guess, like Chugga Conroy do, where they create bonus videos that go over everything that they didn't get around to going over in their main playthrough. And boy, do I have a lot of stuff I want to talk about. This is going to be a very long video, so I'm going to show a list of every single general topic that I'm talking about on the screen right now. Might have to put a background over this so that it doesn't intertwine with the menu buttons here. And I will be placing chapters in the playback bar so that you can skip around to the ones that you're interested in. Because, yeah, I'm probably going to go into way too much detail about all of them, as that's usually what I do. I'm sure you might be able to guess what some of the extra content I am going to go over is, because that number was not that high when we stopped playing. And that's basically it for the intro. Let's get into it. We shall go into single player. We shall go into my regular character. When we shall go into Plaza of Homicide. I kept this world around, really? Alright, let's go. Welcome back to Plaza of Homicide. Only this time, it's in 1080p. That PC has increased my resolution to basically the standard, or at least has allowed me to. I would actually have had higher resolution in the main playthrough, but I recorded the game in a 720p window, just so I could make sure it was still recording the whole time. You know how it is. Anyway, first thing I want to cover is the post-game content. As you can see, I have some of it already. I have the Zenith up here, the Celebration Mark II, a bunch of other stuff, a set of solar armor, yeah. I've already done the post-game content off-camera. And I'm glad that I did, because it was not a very enjoyable process, let me say. Firstly, what exactly is there to the post-game content? It's no new enemies, it's no, like, hard mode. It's just items. That's basically all it is items. And those items come from the fragments. I don't think I have any. Do I have any I could demonstrate? I might not. Oh, I have them right here. Okay. It comes from the fragments. Remember how the fragments, we could make weapons out of them. Well, you can make weapons using just the fragments. However, to unlock everything you can make with the fragments, you need Luminite. Luminite, which I left in the chest over here, is dropped by the Moon Lord, and you can craft it into bars at this here ancient manipulator. Once you do that, you can craft a lot of other stuff than just weapons. You can craft armor, a pickaxe or drill, an axe, a hammer and axe combined into one, and the weapons. And also, wings, which you get, Vortex Booster, so that's not a set of wings. Stardust and Solar have wings, but Vortex Booster and Mantle, yeah, that's different. You can also make these monoliths out of just fragments, which when you place them down, they color the surroundings as if you were near the pillar. Let me do one of them, why not? I can't decide which one was my favorite looking, I think the Nebula was. And I got nothing else to use the fragments on, because I went with the solar armor, because my character's kind of a melee character right now. Yeah, we'll place it down here. There we go, we're around the Nebula pillar. As you can see, if we get too far away, though, it'll go away, so. Only affects a certain radius around yourself. I don't know why these aren't accessories that you can put on and just have that background the entire time if you want. I think that would be nice. There's also this, the Void Monolith. You make this out of Luminite, and it turns the background completely pitch black as if you're fighting Moonlord. I thought that was cool, so I made it. One second. We'll get to this. Let me put it in my hotbar for now, and I can forget about it. So yeah, that's basically it. I would go over each and every set bonus, but I don't think I will. Basically, Solar Flare set bonus is... Okay, wait. Other effects are grants minor life regeneration. Cool. Enemies are more likely to target you. Cool. That doesn't matter when you have this set. When you have this set, you're unstoppable. Basically, the armor sets that each of the fragments make are the most powerful armor sets of any of the classes in the entire game. Once you make them, there's no higher you can go. You're done. So, there's no higher I can go through for melee class. I could always make the other sets, I don't want to. I also put the Beetle set on as vanity because I honestly like how it looks more than the solar armor. Here's how the solar armor looks if I were not to have the head on. Here's if I did have the head on. I mean, yeah, it doesn't look terrible, but no, I prefer how the Beetle set looks overall. But basically, the solar armor set bonus is that you get a shield over time, and if you dash, where you get the most powerful dash in the game, if you dash into an enemy, you deal damage to them. And if you get hit by an enemy, you deal damage to them. It's like a weird explosion thing. And, it's cool. Anyway, number 2 is Moonlord drops. As you can probably tell, we got this portal gun last time. Portal gun's cool. It's, you know, it's a portal gun. It's awesome. Weird thing about the portal gun is that you'll actually fall faster while holding it. Which, if I can show it off well. Like if I fly up here, you actually fall, yeah, your maximum falling speed is significantly faster when you have it, presumably to help you do stuff like this if you really want to. I believe you can also make anti-portal blocks that you can't shoot portals onto. So, yeah, you can set up like little custom maps using the portal gun. I'm not sure exactly what you could do with this, but hey, it's a freaking portal gun. Just do portal gun stuff. It's fun. Then you also have the weapons. The one I got when I killed Moonlord the first time was the SDMG, but I've gotten a couple more since then. Those include the Terrarian, the Celebration Mark II, and the Last Prism. The Moonlord has 2 different drops for each class. Technically 3 for melee. Let me see if I have some of the others. I might not. Oh well, whatever I can't show in this video, I'll pop a picture from the wiki and showing it. So, for melee class, he can drop the Meow Mirror, a sword that shoots cat projectiles, which is just awesome. The Star Wrath, a severely upgraded version of the Star Fury from pre-hard mode. I wish I could show it, but I don't have them anymore, for reasons we'll get to soon. And you also get the Terrarian, this yo-yo. It launches a bunch of projectiles and does 311 melee damage. Wow, I don't even remember it being that high. That may very well be... Never mind. Okay, I think the Zenith actually takes the highest damage count of any weapon in the entire game. For ranged, you have the SDMG and the Celebration Mark II, which we have right here. This one is a gun. It shoots really fast. He does not drop a bow, but he does drop a launcher, these are called. And this thing is special. The rockets it shoots all have like wildly different behaviors and all different colors. It's meant to be a celebration. Funny thing is, he actually used to drop a worse version called the Celebration. But now, the Celebration is sold by the party girl when you've defeated Golem. I can actually, I can buy this, yeah. I have 38 platinum. I think I got all that from killing the Moonlord. Here's the regular Celebration. It's cool. It's cool. The rockets, they're basically firework rockets. It looks cool, but this fires much faster. The rockets are all colorful. I don't know. Which one do you like better? It feels like you could go for either of these for any occasion. It does only 48 damage, but I personally wouldn't use this as a weapon. I mean, you could try just for fun, but yeah. Magic users get the Last Prism, which is very interesting. It's a laser that slowly focuses itself, but as you use it, you consume a ton of mana. And I don't know what the other one is. I think it's some kind of... No, Lunar Portal Staff, I think, is the summoning weapon. And then you have Lunar Portal Staff, and some other staff. I don't know. I'll put it up on screen, but yeah. These are all dropped by the Moonlord randomly. He can only drop 1 every time you kill him. So, if you want all of them, you're gonna have to kill him a bunch of times. More on that in a bit. Finally, the Zenith. The legendary in the name is the modifier, but man, does it fit, because the Zenith is the ultimate sword of Terraria. This is the most powerful weapon in the entire game. No contest, no competition whatsoever. This is the end of the weapons. You can't get more powerful than this, because check this out. Every single enemy within this zone is going to take 300 damage every, millisecond. This thing is insane, and that isn't even the farthest it goes. It'll go all the way out to wherever your cursor is. I believe it does have a limit eventually, but it's extremely hard to reach that limit. Yeah, you could just target anywhere, and it also goes through blocks. Nothing is surviving this. Absolutely nothing. Let me see if I've got a boss summon I can use. I can pull out real quick. Oh, okay. Lunar Flare. I missed this. That's a Nightglow. Lunar Flare is one of the things. This is one of the magic weapons, right along with Last Prism that Moonlord drops. And, yeah, that's cool. I actually forgot what it does, so good thing I found that. Oh yeah, I got that from Plantera. I'll talk about that. Oh, and here's the Lunar Portal Staff. That's the summon it gives you. But I think I like the look of the Stardust Dragon more. Oh, actually, that's a Sentry. And this is a minion, because I can have them both at the same time. Oh, well, you know, I could always do Moonlord again. Sure, why not? Let's summon Moonlord so that we can kill him with the Zenith and show just how quick it is. So, Celestial Sigil, I mean, no, actually, no, you haven't seen me use it. So yeah, Celestial Sigil will begin the 60-second countdown to his arrival. It's not like he gets summoned instantly. You have to wait for him. I bumped a thing, sorry about that. Remember how, hefty the guy was when we fought him back in episode 40? Well, he's not so hefty anymore. Let's do this. I already have 2 of the eyes down. Boom! That was 22 seconds. That isn't even the most powerful you can make the Zenith. That was the final boss of the game, which previously took a lot of punishment, just went down in 2 seconds. And here's our other summon weapon, the Rainbow Crystal. It's also a Sentry. How's it attack? Alright, very cool. Very cool. Now, have I gotten this yet? Oh yeah, I have. Meowmere Minecart. I guess I can briefly go underground to show off the Meowmere Minecart. Why not? I just trashed Illuminite. Let me not do that. It's too special. It should not be trashed. Wow, that's full of crystals. The place is full of crystals. Here's the Meowmere Minecart. I believe many of the minecarts in this game are actually exactly the same, and it's only a special minecart you can get on one of the harder difficulties that is actually the strongest minecart in the game. But you know what? Look, it's freaking Nyan Cat. You can't ask for any more than this as a minecart. I love it. And check this out. Here's the Zenith in action. What are enemies? Man, what are foes? I don't know, they don't seem to exist anymore. You can also use this to light up a ton of places because this thing does emit light. You can use it to light up areas on the map, as you can see. Like this whole area is now lit up. I can go down here and light that stuff up. Because the way the minimap works is like, yeah, look at this, Jesus. The way the minimap works is that it records each block you've seen within a certain radius around yourself and the highest brightness you saw them at, and then marks it down on the map. So, and if you have a lit up thing that can go through walls and reveal those blocks in between, you can see them on the map. Anyway, I was also reminded I made a special lunar hook. This thing hooks 4 times, and each hook represents each of the 4 pillars. That's very cool. Now, more about the Zenith. How do you get the Zenith? Well, let me tell ya. Alright, so it takes a ton of swords that you collect as you progress through the game. Let me try to recall every sword you need. You need the Copper Short Sword, the Enchanted Sword, the Terra Blade, the Influx Waver, the Horseman's Blade, and because you need the Terra Blade, you also need the Knight's Edge Excalibur, and because you need the Knight's Edge, you also need the, Lightsbane, or, Blood Butcherer, I think, whichever World Evil you have, Muramasa, and the Blade of Grass. And you also need to upgrade the Knight's Edge and Excalibur to their true versions. Then you can make the Terra Blade, and technically the Broken Hero Sword as well. You need the Seedler from Plantera, a weapon we haven't seen, but nah, I'm not gonna look at it. I don't have it anymore. And I might be missing something, but I don't know what else. Strangely, you don't need the Christmas Tree Sword from the Frost Moon, even though you need the Horseman's Blade from the thing. Oh yeah. You need the Star Wrath and the Meowmere from the Moon Lord. You need both of those. You need both of his melee weapon drops. And then you combine them all together at your basic hard mode Anvilier to create the Zenith. This process takes a long time, as you can imagine. Some of those swords are pretty hard to get. The Seedler is a rare drop from Plantera. The Horseman's Blade is a rare drop from the Pumpkin. I don't know why this Bubble Machine and the Silly Balloon Machine are just putting up balloons to the top there. I guess so I could see them better, but the balloons are just getting stuck. Here, let me move them out this way. Yeah, you need a lot of stuff. Most of it I ended up collecting throughout the game, but there was some stuff I had to farm for, and it wasn't the most fun thing in the world, let's say. And here's where I get into my problems with the post-game content. As you know, I've already farmed it all out. I do not want to do it again. Because, man, it was a farm and a half. I have 3 stacks of super healing potions. All of those were dropped from Moonlord, of how many times I had to kill that screwy man. So first of all, there's not really anything to use this stuff on. This is just extra powerful stuff you can acquire if you want to, and then, maybe, if you feel like it, you could take it to another world and just blaze through the entire game, if you have fun with that. However, actually acquiring this stuff takes a lot of farming. I already mentioned all the farming I had to do for the swords for the Zenith. It was quite a bit longer. It took way longer than it should have, in my opinion, to get the Seedler out of Plantera. I was down there forever, man. Look at this map. Look at how detailed it is. I was down here for a long time, looking for bulbs, looking for stuff, looking for anything. And then she finally dropped it. That was great. And I also had to do the Pumpkin Moon a bunch of different times. I got really unlucky with that. Sure, we'll wander around the world. We'll make this video more visually interesting. Then there was all the armor and things, and Moonlord. Remember that in order to fight Moonlord, you need to do the Lunar Invasion, the final event of the game. And the Lunar Invasion, man, you know, I said at the end of my playthrough when I had to do it a second time that I didn't really like it. However, over time, I think it's fun. It's fun to do one time per playthrough. If you just do it once, it's fine. Anytime you have to do it a subsequent time, though, it becomes so dull. Because there's not really much to the event other than literally just killing things. Like, you know what? Let's go do the event for fun. So, you know, you do it once, it's like this big challenging event where you have to try and survive a bunch of crap. That's fun to survive. It's fine to do once. But when you have to farm it out and you have to do it multiple times, and so, oh god, I just took all that to the face. I'm trying to get better at this game, and that's one thing I should be doing, is not taking stuff to the face. That's dumb. And that's just because, like, it's dull because there's nothing really to the event aside from killing stuff. And that's how events can be in this game. I know that, like, the Goblin Invasion is literally just killing things, but that's an early game event, and it doesn't last that long. This event, on the other hand, lasts for a pretty long time, and is just... This is all you do. You go to the pillar, and you kill. And you kill, and you kill, and you keep killing until the blue health bar at the bottom of the screen says, you killed 100 enemies. Here's the pillar. It's open now. Go kill it. And then you kill the pillar does absolutely nothing but sit there and use extremely ineffective attacks like shooting that out. Yeah, wow, it's an extremely difficult attack. I feel challenged right now. I mean, yeah, this event is freaking hard. The enemies do a ton of damage, they spawn really fast, there's a lot of stuff you have to keep in mind, but it's just... This is it. And all the hard mode events that are really good, that I think are really good, like Pirate Invasion, Martian Madness, Old One's Army, they all have mini-bosses. They all have, like, different gameplay to change them up. The reason why I had fun farming out the Pumpkin Moon, and I would probably have fun farming out the Frost Moon if I ever had to, because the Frost Moon changed things up with mini-bosses. This event has no mini-bosses. It's literally just kill, 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 murder, maim, kill pillar, done, boom, pillar explodes. You accomplished a lot. Here's some fragments. Move on to the next thing. Do it again. And none of the pillars are all that different. The solar pillar stands out as being not only the hardest one, but having those Krultipedes in them. And that's something. That's cool. I like the Krultipedes. I just wish that was done more with the rest of the pillars in the freaking game, because Yeah, we're gonna move over to whatever pillar's over here. I'm sure a pillar spawned in the snow biome. They always spawn in the same places each time. Whoa, hi! Rainbow slime. Those things spawn if it's on the surface if it's raining. Okay, it's Nebula. We're gonna use, this. Why not? Okay. No, the enemies at least behave differently. They're challenging. I mean, they're not easy. And it's fun your first time, and that includes, like, on repeat playthroughs. This event is fun to do on repeat playthroughs, but only if you ever have to do it the one time. Whether you die to Moonlord and you have to do this event all over again just to get another shot, or you're trying to farm it out, you get, like, freaking 30-40 minutes of killing, and that's it. And this is actually going relatively quickly, because I have the Zenith, and I have Solar Armor, and I have all these boosts and everything, but when you don't have them, it takes even longer than this. And it's a slog. And, one annoying thing about it is if you're trying to just make one set of armor, if you're not trying to go for, like, every single set of armor, which I wasn't, I wasn't trying to make every single possible set of armor for each class. If you're going for just one set, you can't get only those fragments. You have to do the entire event, get the fragments, and then do the rest of the event, resummon the event again, get the fragments, do the rest of the event again, and then, like, if you're playing on Classic, you don't get as many fragments, so yeah, it's... I could say it's boring over and over, so why don't we change the topic to the freaking Moonlord. I'm playing on Classic mode. On Classic mode, you only get half the fragments from the pillars that you do on Expert or Master. Because of that, getting Moonlord spawns takes way longer on Classic for no good reason, really. I get it, like, you know, you play a hard mode, they want to reward you by having an easier time, slightly easier time grinding out stuff. I get it, it's just... it's annoying. And it makes it take even longer, because, like, okay... You do the entire event, you slog through 40 minutes again of this, of nothing interesting happening, and then you get to Moonlord, you kill him, he doesn't drop the thing you want, but that's fine, you have another sigil. So spawn him in again, doesn't drop the thing you want. Great, back to the event. And then, do the event again, get him, doesn't drop the thing you want. Use another sigil, use the fragments for a third one, doesn't drop the thing you want both times, do the entire event again. This time, he does drop the thing you want. And then the second two times, he doesn't. Actually, he might, like, drop a duplicate of the thing that you already have. One of the things that you want that you already have. At least you're getting more Luminite, you're getting more weapons and stuff out of it, but still. And then you have to do the entire event again. And each time you do the event, it's just this, and this over and over again. It sucks. I hate doing the lunar event, farming it out, the lunar invasion. This is why I don't want to do the post-game content again. Because, like, again, I'm blazing through it in this footage because I have the Zenith. If I was using it with this, it wouldn't be taking this short amount of time. So, yeah. If you're willing to do the post-game content, to farm your way through these events over and over again until you get all the post-game content, be my guest. But, man, you know, it got so dull, I decided to cheat through it. I can't even say that I got the Zenith or this armor set legitimately. I actually decided to cheat through it because this event is that freaking dull. I'm gonna try to not swear. So, that freaking dull that I decided to cheat through it. Basically what I did was I gave myself a huge stack of sigils so I could keep spawning in Moonlord, and I gave myself a huge stack of solar fragments. And I basically said, like, you know, theoretically, I could have done the events. I just don't want to because they are so boring. So yeah, overall, Lunar Invasion is fun to do the first time in any given playthrough. But every time you have to do this event a second time, it sucks, and I hate it. In the meantime, let's finish off the rest of this event, and then we'll kill off Moonlord in 20 seconds. We'll beat the game again, we'll see what fun drops we get again. And then we'll continue the video. Like, I have already complained about it, and the complaining about it involved me repeating myself a lot, and I'm done complaining about it, and the event is still going. I'm still not done with it. Man, it's just, oh my god. I'm willing to do it right now because I didn't just get done with farming it out for 5 years. You know, it's funny. I don't want to do the post-game content again, but I technically didn't do it legitimately. But can you blame me? Can you blame me when this stuff is just that boring. I think that the pillars should have been mini-bosses that attack you and summon the minor enemies as minions. I'm right there with Chippy Gaming in thinking that. That is the way to make that more interesting. But as it is now, it's insanely freaking boring, I'm sorry to say. Alright, this time we got a different Terrarian. I don't think it's gonna be better than my superior. It is not, it's just regular old Terrarian. Get out of here, or actually, be sold to someone. And I choose the princess. So, one good thing to note, that's one, we'll get to that in a bit, is that the princess, when you defeat the Moon Lord, sells a music box for the song Journey's End, which is the credits theme. And I already have it. I'm not gonna buy it again. We're going to real quick go up to this new chest I've created since this series has ended, called Music Boxes. Go in and talk about them a little bit, because you may not know this, as I only made one music box in the playthrough, and that was Town Night, but each music box has its own sprite, and not just inventory sprite. We're also talking placed block sprite and playing placed block sprite, because you can choose to place them on the ground and then start them up on the ground so that anyone who's nearby will hear the theme. They put so much effort into this game. I mean, there is this where the dungeon and the boss one are recolors of the exact same thing, and technically so is Town Day and Night, but still, they put a surprising amount of effort in some of their items and sprites and stuff. It's very commendable. That's one of my favorite things about this game, honestly. But there is one cool thing about the music box Journey's End here. You know that these are accessories. You can put them in Vanity, and they'll start playing the theme. One cool thing about the credits theme, though... Oh. I have a resource pack on that changes the credits theme to Minecraft, because I think it fits better. Sorry about that, but... Real quick, if you put it in the main slot, it will actually start... Yeah, okay. It will actually start playing the credits like normal. If you just put it in Vanity, it just plays the music, but in a main slot, it'll start playing the credits again. So if you want to see them in World again, you can buy this for 50 gold and get it that way. I don't feel like watching the credits again, so we're just gonna take it out of our inventory and put it back in the chest. I almost trashed it because I'm way too used to that, but yeah, we're gonna put that back in. These are a really cool feature. I wish you got them slightly earlier, but I'm so glad music boxes are a feature, because one of the annoying things with this game's soundtrack is that as you fly around the areas, which is pretty easy to do in hard mode, music constantly changes and it can get a little annoying. So having that option to just play one theme the whole time is nice. And with all that, I'm going to move on to my second topic. I'm going to address a few mistakes I made throughout the playthrough. One of them, well, it depends. Okay, no. Yeah, I never kept my armor from the early game. I only kept the weapons and tools. Remember this thing? I'm swinging it way faster now because of some extra buffs I have. Yeah, no, none of this stuff is armor. However, I must say, early on, I have to say a couple things about armor. Because I only started caring about set bonuses when I put on this set right here, the Shadow Greaves. We're gonna take it all off and put it on real quick. Did I say Shadow Greaves? Yeah, the Shadow Greaves set. No, the Shadow set. This is the only set bonus I really knew of at the start of the game. However, I have learned since then, basically every armor set in this game has a set bonus. Even the earliest ones. Their set bonuses are having extra defense. And I never noticed that. So I would always just make a bunch of mismatched armor. I believe I had a full set of copper on at one point, and then I traded it out for tungsten and lead, some combination of that. And my defense actually ended up going up by like 1, where I thought it was going up by a lot more, because I had no idea that the set bonuses were a thing. And that's kind of because, I mean, it's hidden. They only show you the set bonus when you have the stuff equipped and when you hover over it while it's equipped. I kind of wish they showed you the set bonus all the time, then I would have learned about it sooner, but yeah, that's one mistake I made, was constantly mismatching armor sets. And besides, you know what? I always said, like, oh, pre-hard mode armor looks terrible. I was talking about mismatched pre-hard mode armor. If you actually pair them together, it doesn't look that bad. And in addition, I think I've found out, it's really helmets I don't like the look of, like that. It looks fine, especially compared to the other armor sets, but over time, I realized that it's not really armor sets in pre-hard mode I hate, it's actually just helmets, and I don't like helmets throughout the entire game. Because most of them hide your character's hair. And I think your character's hair is one of the biggest parts of the design you put into them, and, like, the character themselves. Their clothes, not so much. We'll talk a little more about character creation, character appearances later on. For now, I'm gonna put on the shadow stuff again, and we're going to... Hello? Oh, yeah, right. That's real armor, so it's not going to default to going here. But, yeah, that's one mistake. And, funny thing is, the wood armor set at the start of the game, I looked at the wooden greaves, and saw that they had no defense to them. If you put them on, they gave you nothing, and thought, man, they're useless. Turns out, actually, if you're wearing the entire wood armor set, the set bonus of that is 1 extra defense point, so you get 3 defense. So, that's good. And I believe, if you have 3 defense as opposed to, like, 2 or something... Actually, we can make torches. Why not? If you have 3 defense as opposed to, like, 2, that was quite a number to end on. It'll actually protect you from 2 damage. It'll round up. I think it rounds up. I don't think it takes decimal points into account. But yeah. Second mistake. Remember, back in episode 35, I was farming stuff, I was farming prismatic lacewings for Empress of Light. I was farming them the wrong way. I got really frustrated with it because they spawned so rarely. Turns out, I wasn't farming them right. Both truffle worms and prismatic lacewings, speaking of which, got one right here. Do I have it? I do have a bug net on me. Sure, let's capture it. For fun. Why not? These things, they are critters. They're considered friendly animals, but in the game's spawning system, they're actually considered enemies. What that means is that enemies, anything classified as an enemy in the spawning system, is not allowed to spawn in a town. And the whole time I was trying to find prismatic lacewings, I was hanging out around my hollow town and trying to farm them around here. I was going like back and forth between the town and the natural space. Not realizing, or not knowing at the time, lacewings would not spawn nearby the town. That is why I had such trouble finding them, and I should have known because I did notice that every lacewing I found when I was away from the town. So, I farmed them off camera in a playthrough without a town nearby, and it was a lot less painful. I mean, they still showed up somewhat rarely, and it's still kinda weird that they're limited to until 12 p.m. or 12 a.m. midnight. I think that's because otherwise the game would run the risk of having the player accidentally fight Empress of Light during day and feel cheap, and it would feel cheap, so that I can respect that, especially because now I know, do not fight them, do not farm them near a town, they do not spawn near towns. That is a good thing to know. Thirdly, when I made the Beetle armor, I chose to make the Beetle scale male, and this one is less of a mistake and more of just a thing that maybe I shouldn't have done. It turned out pretty well for me in the end, but basically, when you make the Beetle armor, you get the choice of Beetle Scale Male and Beetle Shell. The Beetle Scale Male, as a part of its set bonus, I don't have it on right now, but the beetles that slowly spawn around you will increase your damage with melee weapons, while the Shell will increase your damage reduction, which is a separate stat from defense, whereas defense reduces your damage taken by a certain number depending on what your defense is. Damage reduction will decrease it by 1%, so it can stack up quite a bit if you have a lot of it. And so the Beetle Shell is great for defense, but the Beetle Scale Mail increases your damage. And I hear from the community that the Beetle Shell is overall better for that reason. And, you know, they're probably right, but I kind of find that the increased damage from the Beetle Scale Mail, it may have helped me out slightly more than defense would have. Then again, I don't know. I mean, it's not damage reduction forever. It's not like, oh, now you have permanent 15% less damage. No, it will go away and have to recharge eventually. I think there might be a couple other mistakes that I'm missing, but they're overall pretty minor, and I don't really care about them. So instead, let's move on to our third thing. You may have noticed in my inventory, I've got a Goblin Battle Standard, a Snow Globe, and a Deer Thing. I'll talk more about the Deer Thing in a bit. There are some extra things in the game's combat that I didn't do. For one thing, I never fought a Goblin Invasion during Hard Mode. If you fight a Goblin Invasion during Hard Mode, there is a special enemy that spawns. That's almost a mini-boss. I have no idea how they behave or how they act. We'll find out together. I think I'm going to prepare myself using this mismatched, crappy set that probably won't help that much, but yeah, this is the set I'm putting on. I'm gonna keep everything else as is, and then as for weapons, I think I'm going to find... I'll see if I have an early hard mode weapon like the Nimbus Rod. Got the Musket and Red Rider. Dart Rifle, I don't think I have the stuff for that. Tactical Shotgun, meh. Flower of Frost, that's pretty good. Strong Blue Moon. Or actually, Sun Fury can be pretty good. I don't know how strong the Summoner is, but I think I'm going to use mainly these items. I don't really... Just to make it fair for, you know, the Goblin army, I'm going to weaken myself a little bit. Not by much, just a little bit. We'll use Flame Lash instead of SDMG. There we go. This is very magic-oriented, but you know what? And while we're waiting for daytime to hit, because I think you can only start this during day, the Frost Legion is a special Christmas-only event because you can only get it out of presents randomly. And it sounds pretty forgettable, but we're gonna try it as well, because why not? And we'll get to that thing last. Let's fight these two first. Alright, it's daytime. Goblin army is approaching from the east. And I've got, I don't know, stuff on. I have ranged damage, and, yeah, I'm not helping myself with any of the weapons that I'm going to be using against them. Sounds great, but you know what? I've got tons of Flood, I've got a bunch of other stuff. I'm confident that we can do this, regardless of how hard the Summoner is. Oh yeah, and this is a really cool weapon I kind of wanted to show off. The Ice Rod. This is bought from the Wizard. So you can get it from the start of hard mode. Does 35 damage, and also places a block of ice wherever your cursor is. And it doesn't need to be connected to another block. You can just place it. You can also shoot the projectiles through blocks, which allows you to, like, make a wall up in a cave, and then shoot through the wall to the other side. So we're gonna try using it against them. Along with all our other stuff. Keep an eye on the mana, though. Well, okay, you know what? Nope. Stardust Dragon, out of here. I don't know what summon I could use. I don't have the Spider Staff. That would be the only thing. Oh, here's the Summoner. What do you do? Alright, so she flies, she shoots projectiles, and summons something. I only took 1 damage from that. Good job. It makes a completely different sound than normal. It is really powerful, though. Like, look at that. And, oh, I need more mana. I need to heal my mana. There we go. If only I had that one accessory that, Here, let's use Sun Fury for a little while. Yeah, that's pretty intense. I like it. It's like, it's almost a mini-boss, but it doesn't have a health bar, so it's not really a mini-boss. That's cool that it gets this upgrade in hard mode. It's not really doing much damage to me, and I don't know if that's because, I mean, at 39 defense, yeah, it doesn't do that much damage, but it does shoot a lot of stuff at once. It can get pretty overwhelming, so yeah. The rest of these guys, I assume, are the same boring old useless pieces of garbage that we know and love from pre-hard mode. Yeah, you know, the summoners are really tanky. That's the main thing about them, I guess. Let's Last Prism you for fun. Wow. Oh, you dropped a Shadow Flame Bow. We'll have to check that out, I guess, because I haven't ever picked it up before, so yeah, that seems pretty cool, and they never stop coming. So yeah, if the Goblin Invasion happens in early hard mode, I wonder what that's like. Because, like, the rest of these guys are the same as they are in pre-hard mode, at least on Classic. But then you have the Summoner in addition. I haven't really taken much damage, but again, I am using hard mode or equipment. Like, what if you had Molten Armor or Jungle Armor? Real quick, I'm going to switch to my Jungle Armor. I don't have enough room in my inventory. 1 second. Spiky Balls, get out of here. Harpoon, get out of here. We're going to switch to, fittingly enough, my magic armor from pre-hard mode. So how much harder is it now? Let's Flame Lash. We got those Shadow Flame Apparitions, I can see that they're called. It's kind of hard to tell the difference at a glance between the Goblin Summoners, or the Goblin Sorcerers and the Summoner. Alright, here's the Summoner. This is with 500 health, keep in mind. You will not have 500 health at the start of hard mode when you're kind of intended to fight the Summoner. Oh, and oh no, I don't have the shield. What the hell am I talking about? I switched to jungle armor. I also probably have a lot more... Oh no, I don't. The only regen buffs I have... Oh, I do have the Charm of Myths, but still, that's the Band of Regeneration. That's something you could get in pre-hard mode pretty easily. So let's, okay. I should have seen this coming. Took out quite a sizable chunk of my health, you know. Good job, Summoner. You put up a good fight. That's pretty cool. I've already said all this, but yeah, that's cool. Does it seem like the hardest thing? Maybe at the start of hard mode it is. I mean, I do have the solar wings and stuff. I can move around crazy fast, but I didn't exactly keep around my fledgling. I didn't get fledgling wings in this world, actually. So yeah, there's our first combat event, and that was cool. I can now say that I've killed the Goblin Summoner as a part of this series. Actually, we can... Nope, never mind. We have to click and drag them over. Oh, wait. You got shift click them on. I'm dumb. So here's the Shadow Flame Bow. 62 range damage. And I have no arrows in my inventory. That's fun. I do have an endless musket pouch, which I guess I might as well go over while I have it. If you get 4 entire stacks of arrows or bullets, you can use the crystal ball from the wizard, which I thought had no uses, because the game didn't tell me about its uses in the tooltips, which would have been awfully nice. You can craft an item that gives you an unlimited supply of that item, as long as you have it, which is why I'm actually low on SDMG, because I used it on that. So I'm gonna get 4 stacks of arrows here, go over to the crystal ball, and endless quiver. There we go. Just like that, now I have unlimited arrows. You can check this out. Shoots Shadow Flame arrows, only shoots 1, they don't fly that fast. They don't seem to lose gravity though, do they? If they do, it's very slight. But 62 damage? That's pretty cool. Except, I mean, it's 62 because I have, it's got the modifier deadly, so not 100% accurate, but still cool. We're gonna keep these same weapons, and we're going to... Actually, we should probably keep the same armor then, too. Let's fight jungle armor. And then we're going to summon the Frost Legion. I was about to say, is it not working? Do I have to play during Christmas time? It's almost Christmas time in real life, but I don't think the Christmas... Sorry. I accidentally pulled up the start menu by pressing Windows key. The Christmas event hasn't, like, actually, started in-game yet. Hey, they broke down my doors. How rude. So the Frost Legion is another invasion event, just like the Goblin, Pirate, and Martian Madness invasion. Except this time, it's with snowmen. So this will be interesting. We'll start by placing a Nimbus Rod over here whenever it begins. We can just place 2 of them right off the bat. They're approaching from the east, so yeah, they'll be approaching from here, even though this should be the east because the sun rises from there. Shut up. Here they are. I already hear that they killed something. And, well, yep, they put up a real good fight, man. Yep, this is about what I expected. They hop around everywhere, and they attack you. Mr. Stabbies are melee. I think there's some guys with guns. They do 46 damage. This is with jungle armor. And yeah, that's not terrible. Let me, Flower of Frost you to death. Funny that Frost kills them much faster. We'll use some Flame Lash. We'll wait for my things to recharge, and we'll get some Sun Fury in there. Oh, 44. Okay. Not the easiest thing in the world. I see. Rain yet again. The game loves starting rain just all the freaking time. It's playing the theme for the Destroyer and the thing. Oh, who's those? The Snowman Gangsta. Yeah, so... This event is just okay, I think. I mean, it's fun. I'm having fun killing them. But it's by no means an event that you should go out of your way to do as soon as possible. Oh, yeah, right. This event does unlock something pretty special, however. And I'll also keep in mind this is a hard mode event. They're placing snow blocks down, I just realized. Who's doing that? Is there like there's a type that must throw snow blocks at you? It's, they just throw snow blocks randomly? Hang on. I see they're attacking up here. They're attacking the cat. Nope, away from the cat. Away from the cat. That cat has lived the entire playthrough. I would hate for it to die in the bonus video. Fortunately, I don't think that's ever gonna happen. Alright, I'm half dead, you know? They're putting the hurt on. They're putting the hurt on, and I'm only 30% through. I just noticed now. Wow, okay. But there's no mini-bosses, so you know what? I think I might say you get the idea and just pull out the Zenith after a little while. Let me heal real quick. I was with a super healing potion. This event might be a lot more intense and challenging at the start of hard mode, but otherwise, it's just okay. Let's pull out the Zenith and let's just obliterate the rest of them. While we're at it, take down these extra decorations because they suck. I don't like the decorations. So yeah, no mini bosses, nothing, just a bunch of snowmen that do deal a lot of damage and are kind of hard to hit with how they hop around, but yeah, this is probably the most forgettable event in the entire game. We did it, so we can't say I didn't anymore. Oh, they break down your doors just like the Goblin Army. How dare you? I hate the Goblin Army and this event for doing that. Just broke my wood block. Alright, they're dead. And do you want to slay a snowman? There's my achievement, which I haven't actually gotten before. And with that, that's the improved Goblin Invasion in hard mode, as well as the thing, the Frost Legion. Up next is something quite special. You know how Relogic has said so many times, oh, don't worry, we're done updating Terraria. Well, they made another update. Thanks, Terraria. Thanks, Relogic. Making me have to freaking play this game again and do this other boss again. This new update actually has, I mean, it's a content-packed update, if you couldn't tell. It actually has quite a cool story behind it. Basically, in a Reddit AMA, Ask Me Anything, for anyone who doesn't know, where people ask Reddit a bunch of questions, and then, or Reddit asks some group a bunch of questions, and then they answer each and every one. One of the questions were, if you were to do a crossover with any other game, which game would it be? And one of them answered, Don't Starve Together, which is a survival game. I don't think I'm going to use the imp staff, actually. It's a survival game that I actually own right now that has some pretty cool and unique looking designs and things. I guess we'll do Hornet Staff, why not? I kept around the Hornet Staff. Let's bring back out the Hornet Staff. And is kind of similar to Terraria, surprisingly. Because the other crossover, you know, Old One's Army is the other crossover, and that was with Dungeon Defenders 2. So they said, we'd love to do one with Don't Starve, if it ever happens. Apparently, the people behind Don't Starve, Clay Entertainment, saw that post, and then contacted them and said, hey, want to do the crossover? And so they did the crossover, and that is what they added. Basically, we've got a Don't Starve crossover, and what does that exactly mean? Well, a new boss is what it means. The Deerclops from Don't Starve is now in Terraria as a boss. It is a pre-hard mode boss, which is why I'm pulling out pre-hard mode equipment here. Not the accessories, but yeah. I do need/want to fight the boss, so I can show him off and say that I've done it. I've already fought the boss, and it's a lot of fun. I think it's honestly, I'm glad it was added. It was one of the, it's one of the best bosses now, in my opinion. It's that freaking good. Let's summon a Hornet. So, there are two ways you can get the boss. The boss summon is the deer thing here. Summons Deerclops. This is crafted from three Flinksfur, and 50, I think, or no, 30 of whatever your evil biome ore is, whether it's Demonite or Crimtane, and then, can't remember the last thing is, oh yeah, lenses. Craft that at the Demon Altar, you get the deer thing. So basically, you can summon Deerclops, like, after Eye of Cthulhu. It's at that point of progression. I don't necessarily recommend doing it as the second boss. Wow, Rainbow Slimes have a lot of health. This thing really doesn't do a lot of damage. I don't recommend fighting as your second boss. That would be something like Eater of Worlds. I would choose to fight Eater of Worlds or Brain of Cthulhu as my second boss. But it's there. Because the reason why I don't recommend it, it's actually quite possibly the hardest pre-hard mode boss in the game right now. Ooh, Lantern Knight. Oh, Frost Legion. It deals by far the most damage out of any pre-hard mode boss, and attacks in a very different way from most other pre-hard mode bosses. It's to the point where you don't really need an arena, and I don't think I'm actually going to use one. Real quick, I'm going to go sleep through this night so that you can get a good view of Deerclops and his awesome sprite and his awesome animations. I was actually going to stay in there because there is a way to get him to spawn naturally if it is raining in the snow biome, meaning there's a blizzard. If there's a blizzard in the snow biome, as soon as the clock strikes midnight, a Deerclops will spawn, as long as you're in the snow biome with them and you have a certain amount of health. So you can get him to spawn naturally that way, or you can make the deer thing. But since the blizzard ended, we're just gonna sleep through the night and then fight him in the morning. The rest of the Don't Starve content is in the form of items dropped by Deerclops. There's quite a few. And there's actually an even more special Don't Starve edition that we'll be getting to later this video. But as some items are actually from rare drops from enemies, I believe the bats, if you kill a bat in a cave, they drop a bat, which is like a bat wing that you swing as a weapon. There's also a bunch of new pets. The Bernie's button that the princess was selling, that's one of them. And there's new vanity sets that represent Wilson and Willow, the two iconic Don't Starve characters. Most of it's pretty minor, but like by far the biggest two additions are the new boss and the new special thing we'll be getting to later. Now that it is morning, I've thought it over, and I think the least I could do is bring in the Leaf Wings, our first wing set, to make myself at least slightly weaker, to make this guy a little more fitting. Maybe take off my Master Ninja gear because you wouldn't have dodging at this point. But then again, I don't think you would have dashing if the Goblin Summoner would be hard. Whatever, it's a boss fight. Bosses are more important than events. There, I said it. He is native to the snow biome. You must be in the snow biome in order to summon him in. So let's summon him in. Everyone meet Deerclops. Deerclops does not fly, one of the few bosses to do so. Instead, he walks along the ground. The catch is, as you can see, he's purple and red right now. If he's purple and red, you cannot damage him, and he will become normal colors when you are close enough to him, so you can only damage when you're close enough to him. He has attacks where he unleashes ice spikes across the ground, either on either sides of him or directly in front of him. He will roar sometimes, and that will give you the debuff slow for 10 seconds. And if you're too far above him and he decides to attack, he'll do a roaring attack, and then he'll summon a bunch of hands around you. This guy also has a slight hit. Yep, right there. The hands move in completely random directions. They're not really... avoiding them is not very reliable, but yeah. He'll attack with that... oh god. He'll attack with that attack more often if you choose to fight him on a platform, so I'd recommend fighting him on the ground and flying up and out of the way. I'd recommend at least having a set of fledgling wings, maybe a balloon to boost you up into the sky before fighting him. Post-dungeon stuff, basically. This guy is really powerful, as you can see. I'm 2 hearts down from that attack, and most pre-hard mode bosses really don't do that much damage per hit. That was 19 damage, and that's with one of the strongest pre-hard mode equipment sets. At least I think Jungle is one of the strongest. It seems that way to me. Yeah, already 5 hearts down, and this guy still has a long way to go. He doesn't have any second phase, unfortunately, but that doesn't really matter to me. You know what? Alright, let's attack him with some Vile Thorn. I think this might do more damage, because I've been using the bow on him the whole time for some reason. His attacks are pretty hard to avoid, but I think one thing about him is that his legs actually don't have a hurt box. You can safely stand down here. The unfortunate thing about that is that he will randomly decide to use the ice spikes on either side of him or on one side of him, and as far as I can tell, there's no indication whether that's the case or not. Maybe he releases the attack slightly quicker, but in the time that it would take for you to see that very minute detail, he's already unleashed the attack and you've already taken damage. I think the reason why you can only fight him up close is because in Don't Starve, you have to get right up in your enemy's faces to actually unleash a hit, so that makes sense. You can't just hang back, which means that melee will have a pretty fun time against Deerclops, and ranged will not. But whatever. And that, my friends, was Deerclops. There's his jibs on the floor. You can see he's dead. He's got what looks like monster meat from Don't Starve. And he dropped the Houndius Shootius. Summons a sentry. Summons an arcane construct to shoot Cosmic Blast at your enemies. There's your sentry. He also dropped the radio thing, an accessory that if you put it on, applies this filter to your game. This makes it look more like Don't Starve. That is not the only thing he drops. Far from it. We might as well keep it on. We're gonna summon him again. There's a reason I brought in 5. We're gonna summon him again. And this time we're gonna try to use other weapons against him. I'm gonna try to learn him a little more. I haven't actually fought him that much, all things considered, so I could try to use this time to learn him a little more. See what the hell his deal is. Yeah, I remained above him, so he used the Shadow Hands attack there. He does have a slight minor difference to him on the harder difficulties of the game, but we're not gonna get into the harder difficulties right now. I'm gonna save that for some other time. In the meantime, I can expel a fun fact. The music track for this guy, which you might not be able to hear underneath his grunts and cries and roars, is actually not composed by the original composer for this game. It's actually made by Clay Entertainment, the people behind Don't Starve, so that was nice of them. Let's use Sun Fury. His health is dropping much faster. The Underworld stuff might be a little too overpowered for him, so I'd recommend maybe fighting him before going into the Underworld, but yeah, this guy is easily the biggest pre-hard mode challenge. Our drops this time include the Eye Bone, we'll get into that in a bit, and the Deranged Weather Pane. Weather Pane, all of the stuff is from Don't Starve, by the way, such as the Weather Pane. Summons a tornado. I believe it flies to attack enemies, and it also ignores 10 points of enemy defense, which is pretty cool. So it's got 10 armor penetration. It pretends that 10 points of the armor of the enemy does not exist. Uses 25 mana, so yeah, it's a pretty cool magic weapon. 14 magic damage, very slow speed. This modifier gives them minus damage and knockback, so yeah, it's pretty slow. Let's see how slow. Yeah, that's slow. That's pretty slow, but you never know, it could be pretty good. There are also a couple other weapons, such as... Oops. No, why am I throwing this stuff away? I should probably keep it, as this is a pretty special world. I'm gonna put it in my piggy bank. Speaking of piggy banks, next item here. Eye Bone. I'll get back to what I said before in a second, if I can remember it. Summons a living chest to store your items. Everyone, meet Chester from Don't Starve. A portable chest that will follow you around. In Don't Starve, as long as you have this Eye Bone item in your inventory, he follows you around. And as long as you have the Eye Bone equipped in Terraria, he appears and follows you around. And he is a portable piggy bank. It accesses... So now we have 3 different items that access the piggy bank inventory. Maybe this guy should have access to different inventory like the safe. Could have been its own inventory, but... nah, it's fine. This is extremely convenient. It's an even better money trough, because the money trough, you still have to hold it in your inventory, your main inventory, taking up item space, and you have to keep resummoning it, but now, you can shove this item in your pet slot, have this adorable little thing following you around, open it whenever you want, and it follows you the whole time. You don't have to keep resummoning it. It is so good. It is so much better than the money trough, and especially the regular piggy bank item, which you have to place down on like a table, a flat surface, and it's annoying. With that all said, let's fight him yet again and see what different items we get. I love this guy. I just love, like, you fight him so differently compared to other bosses in the rest of the game. Because, like, you fight him, you don't even need an arena, and you can do really, really well against him. This is the best way to fight him, by far. Do not make an arena. If you make an arena, then you're a coward. No, I'm kidding. But seriously, it's so cool. This time we got, exactly the same stuff as the first time, it seems. Well, let's hope we get something more interesting next time. Wow, exactly the same thing. How incredible. And wow, he dropped exactly the same stuff again. It's fine. I'll show off some of the items in a bit. But yeah, that's Deerclops. Again, as I just said, I'll show off the rest of the Don't Starve items in a bit. I think he's a very welcome addition to the game. He drops some really useful items. And yeah, he's cool. Chester especially is one of the best new items. I haven't really done a true playthrough since the update came out, so I'm excited to actually get to utilize him fully, but Yeah, it just seems so convenient that it's a piggy bank that follows you around anywhere, never dies, although he can die and don't starve, fun fact. You get the point. It's good. With that, that is everything that I wanted to do on this world anyway, but we are far from done. I've got quite a bit more to do. I've got an entire to-do list over here, and yeah, there's a lot, but I'd say we're almost halfway through. So, for our next topic, I'm going to leave the world. Because our next topic is going to take us elsewhere. There are things outside of Plaza of Homicide to go over. And while I'm on this title screen, can I just say, this title screen does not give any justice whatsoever to the Crimson. It has regular forest during daytime, corruption during nighttime, but the Crimson gets no attention. I mean, sure, throughout my entire playthrough, we were dealing with corruption. Not necessarily Crimson, but yeah. But still, it's like, why no love to the Crimson? And you know what? To make this the title screen less repetitive, I'm going to go turn the music down very far and add in my own music while we go over our next topic, which is Journey Mode. Not yet. We're going to actually go over the character creation screen first, because I want to make a new Journey character to show things off. This stuff, I did all of this in a cut on the first episode, where I basically just cut from this screen to my fully finished character. I didn't actually show up the screen, though. That's because I did the entire character creation in silence, because I didn't know what the screen was. That was the first time I had ever seen this interface. This new interface they added in 1.4. Let me go over it real quick. Basically, with characters, there's not much. It's no Bethesda game. But you do get quite a few options. You have 5 different outfits to choose from with either gender character. Basically, both genders have their own variation of the same outfit. This first one is both of their starting outfits that they had when the game first came out. All of these were added later. This character is actually the only one you had at the very, very start of the game, so that's kind of funny. And also, you could choose official gender down here. It's a little bit weirder of an interface. The older versions just had a screen where it said, hey, want to change your gender? Here you go. And this one, though, you have to click on this. But yeah, you can go with either these standard looking clothes, which look okay, this tank top style, which is the one I went with, this long shirt and baggy pants style, which has an icon on the shirt that you can actually change with one of these colors. I believe this one has a heart, this one has a skull, a trench coat style, or you're wearing a trench coat, it's pretty cool, and a dress, where you wear this thing, and a regular looking dress. Next up, I might as well just make my standard character as an example. Next up is, that was quite the lag, hairstyles. There are a lot of hairstyles. I just gravitated straight towards this one. This is the default, and I guess this is kind of the default one for female characters, but hairstyles are not gender locked. No matter what gender you pick, you can put whatever you want. You can even go bald. And if you think this is a lot of hairstyles, it's actually not all of them. There's even more down here. You can have all shapes and sizes of beard. You can have this. And you know what else? This isn't even all the hairstyles in the game. The stylist in-game will offer you more hairstyles to choose than just this. You only get this on character creation, but you can get more in-game. You can even get hairstyles based on Wilson and Willow from Don't Starve. As for the rest of these tabs, all the rest of these tabs, they are just vague icons. They are recolors. Basically, like, here you color your hair, here you color your eyes, which rarely shows up. I may always make crystal blue eyes. I don't change the skin tone. Skin tone is pretty interesting though, because you're actually not limited to natural human skin colors. You can pick whatever color you want. However, if you'd rather stick to natural human skin colors, then you only have to worry about sliding this bar down here. It lets you choose any natural skin color on the spectrum, even the 2 extremes. I don't know what the default was. It was around there. Yeah, that's good enough. These 2 are interesting. I'm pretty sure this is supposed to be called shirt, what was called shirt in previous versions. This one is undershirt. But, if we go back to the regular male style here, this one will color the main top that you see right here. And we're gonna color it red, because that's how I do it on the other style. We're gonna make it a vibrant red. And then this one colors the shirt underneath. you know, the undershirt, that would make sense. But I think those icons may be leftovers from that. I think internally that is considered the undershirt, but then again, the game uses that to decide what the color of the familiar shirt looks like again. It's weird. I don't quite understand it myself, but basically, most styles actually use, you know, they use the regular shirt color for the base shirt. So yeah, I don't know. Like, wait, which one does this one use? Okay, this color's the trench coat, the outerwear. I don't understand. Well, it technically doesn't have a name anymore, so yeah, I guess it's not really an undershirt anymore. And then finally, these ones are just straightforward pants and then shoes, which I color purple and green. You can also choose to randomize these. You can copy and paste stuff so that you can always make the same character each time. I don't think you can randomize hairstyle, but you can randomize each individual color if you want. Or if you want, you can randomize the entire character from this screen, or save an entire character to this screen. I personally choose to redesign every single time, because it doesn't take that long. I literally just click this, I click that, and then I go change everything to the colors that are not that far to reach. But if, in case you're like doing a speedrun and you're tired of changing characters, making characters all the time, but you don't want the default, you can do that. Then, we have the naming screen right here. We're going to name this character Examplecito, because this is my example journey mode character. But you got some options here. I did go over what these were, but allow me to go over them in more detail. I've been playing on Classic the whole time. You drop money on death. You drop a portion of it, and the portion depends on the world difficulty. We'll get more into that when I actually talk about the world difficulty, which will not be in this video. Then there's medium core and hardcore. Medium core makes it so the death system is the very same as Minecraft. You drop your inventory where you died, including all of your money, no matter what world difficulty you're on. When you respawn, you'll respawn with the copper short sword, pickaxe, and axe that every character starts with. The reason why is because without those things, you basically can do nothing in the game but move around. And Terraria is designed assuming that you at least can break blocks and stuff. So without those tools, you'd be screwed, and it would just be unfair. But you will drop everything from armor, accessories, hooks, pets, every single thing in your inventory will be erased and dropped on the ground. There are some differences to the Minecraft system that I think actually make it slightly better than the Minecraft system. Because over time, I've kind of grown to hate the Minecraft system, I'll be honest. But I think I'm going to save those for some other time, not this video. Hardcore is similar. You do drop all your items upon death. However, you can read it right here, and you can probably assume from the name. Your character is dead forever. So, however, the interesting thing about this is your character is dead. Your character gets deleted, not the world. So, you can actually play a kind of ultra medium core mode, where you make a playthrough with a hardcore character on just a regular world, whatever difficulty you want. Because character and world difficulties are separate. And then, if you die, you make a new hardcore character and go back in. And that will erase your character progress, but you keep playing from the progression point you made it in the world, but your character progress is reset. So that could be interesting. I should try that sometime. But then you have Journey. If you choose Journey mode, you do not have access to the effects of medium core or hardcore. If you choose Journey, you're playing as the classic character, and you're playing for good. Journey mode is how you access, actual Journey mode. In order to access Journey mode, both the character and the world you play have to be Journey. You know how this game usually doesn't have any rules for character and worlds. You can play on any character on any world. Journey mode is the exception to this. Journey characters and worlds are kept in their own separate bubble, away from the rest of the game. Because reasons. You'll see why. Journey mode is the game's creative mode. I'm sure you can guess what that entails. So, with that, I shall finally finish my example Journey mode character. I kind of wish you got access to medium and hardcore. I mean, you can do hardcore, like, if you die, just quit the game and delete your character. That's how you could do hardcore, but medium core, I think there should be an option for that in Journey mode that you can toggle, like, under player power. Say, I want the effects of medium core. Because otherwise, if you want to do medium core effects, but you've made a Journey world, you need to use, software to change it. We'll be getting into that soon. Here's my example character. we're going to hop into my journey world, Essence of Invasions. This was my second playthrough that I did right after I completed my first one. As you can see, 3rd of May 2021. That was shortly after I completed my my playthrough. Let's hop in. And now that we're done with that, I can turn the music back up. So, journey characters. We'll start out with more items. The starting 3 tools are all right here, but they are all iron. This is the next level up from copper, not including tin. Tin is basically the same as copper. In addition, you have a hammer that is not feeling the greatest today, apparently. A finch staff, which is a summon weapon that we haven't seen. 100 torches, 100 rope, a magic mirror right from the start, a grappling hook right from the start. And over here in accessories, fledgling wings. We'll get more into these in a second. So yeah, you get bonus equipment to start you off and to help you out a little bit. Finch staffs will... The finch staff is by far the weakest summon weapon. It's a tiny finch that attacks stuff. I could probably take it over out into like the nature over here and show it off. It's kind of adorable how it attacks things. And it's actually mostly the same as regular Terraria. You got your same health bar, you got your same magic bar, you got everything the same basically. You start with some boosts, you have wings right off the bat, you can fly that high with fledgling wings. They're the worst wings in the game. You might notice, like, nothing seems to be different at first. Well, why don't you look a little harder? Hidden right here is the Journey power menu. You can also press C to open it, or click this bunny icon. Then you get a list of a bunch of options. We're gonna come back to duplication, but you could probably guess from what it sounds like. Yep, it's the creative menu. We'll get into it in a bit. For now, let's start off with the fact that you can basically alter the world, bend the world's rules to your will. Here you have a time menu. You can freeze time, which will... Oh, I don't have a clock, and I can't make a clock. I forgot Angry Nimbi are hard mode enemies. Yeah, I'm not meant to be fighting them yet. I guess we'll show this off in the town where I won't die to hard mode enemies. Anyway, the time is not moving. You'll have to trust me on this one. You can also set time to dawn, noon, dusk, or midnight. Unfortunately, you can't choose specific times. I kind of wish you could, but they kind of... Oh god. Oh Jesus. They kind of make up for it by allowing you to change the rate at which time moves down here. Right now it's moving at 1 times, but I can make it move faster. As you can see, it'll also speed up clouds and stuff like that. Next up, weather. You can change the wind speed to, like, blowing really fast in the west, blowing really fast in the east. Right in the middle is no wind. The game will change this on its own. However, you can turn that off right below it. Wind change disabled, and now I am the arbiter of wind. Game cannot change wind at all. Secondly, you have the same thing but with rain. You can go from clear sky all the way to drizzle, change the intensity, all the way to monsoon. This is an extremely rare occurrence in a regular game, but you can make it so you see it more often if you want. You can also turn off the rain change. If you're tired of the game giving you the heaviest rains all the time, you can just turn it off, set it to clear sky, and for once, enjoy the scenery. Alright, Finch. Wow. You are terrible. I'm gonna lead this guy far away from my base and then teleport back and hope he despawns. Or I could take a pylon and then he'll despawn. So he's gone now. We can finally go over the rest of this menu on our own. Then we have personal power. This will give you more options than it sounds like it would. Personal power allows you to gives you access to 3 things. God mode. Yes, it is as you sound. You can make yourself invincible. In all honesty, I could have turned on God mode there instead, but then we would have had to deal with him grunting above us for a while. So yeah, God mode will make it so you are invincible, and your mana also regenerates to full instantly all of the time. You can turn this on whenever you want. No restrictions. Just hop into this menu, turn it on, and turn it back off when you want. You also get increased placement range. This is on by default. As you can see, I can place... You can tell by my cursor, the dirt block appearing next to the cursor there. I can place a dirt block all the way down there if I had a block to connect it to, but I don't. I can place a dirt block... Not there, apparently. I can place a torch right there. With this turned off, you can only place it about here. That's where Sorry, that's where it stops. And with increased placement range, it goes way, way farther. I would recommend not getting too used to this. I mean, you could do this for building, but man, going from having this on all the time to playing in a regular playthrough, where it's the default tiny range, it felt so weird. It was just like, I kept trying to place doors from here. It was crazy. And then, enemy spawn rate slider. This will allow you to change the enemy spawn rate from 1 to 0, turning off spawns completely, in the same effect as peaceful mode, or you can turn it up. This range goes from 0 to 1, but this range goes from 1 to 10, so there's a lot greater change through here. As you can see, 5 times, 10 times. This will change the spawn rate of everything from critters. As you can see, we're going to have a lot more critters spawn, and if we go out to the right here, we're going to see like 5 million slimes in a bit. Just you watch, just you wait. You see, we have a cardinal there. Let's check this out. Slime there, slime there, slime there. Slime there, slime there, slime there. There's a lot. Yeah. This is not for the faint of heart. It fills the screen with enemies, quite literally. If only I could show off what a blood moon looks like with this. It's freaking crazy. Don't worry about this structure here. It's a death hallway. I made it for fun. Just to kill myself whenever I feel like it. We're gonna turn the spawn rate down a little bit. You can also turn the spawn rate down if you think it's too high, the enemies are bothering you too much, but you still want to fight stuff on occasion. Then you can choose to turn it down. Yeah, okay. Thanks, guys. You get the idea. I'd recommend playing around with it yourself just to see what kind of crazy shenanigans you can make. Next up, we're done with the personal power menu. Infection spread. You can turn it off. One of the best features of Journey Mode. This turns off spreading biomes like the Crimson Corruption spreading, the Evil biome, or the Hollow spreading. This will turn it off. You can turn it on and off whenever you want. It also appears to be saved with the world, because I'm playing on a different character and yet it was turned off, but it's actually on by default. Thank God for this, honestly. If you think biome spread is just, it's too much to deal with, and you don't want to have to worry about it spreading, you could turn it off, and boom, nothing to worry about. It's so nice. Down here, finally, is the enemy difficulty slider. Enemy difficulty, what they actually mean is world difficulty. This allows you to choose whatever world difficulty you want by using this slider. You can go with Classic, Journey, Expert, or Master. The 3 that you will get on regular non-Journey worlds are Classic, Expert, and Master, and you choose them upon world creation, and once you make them, you cannot change them within game means. But if you make a Journey world, you can change stuff within game means. It does use a slider. This means you can actually choose like halfway difficulties, like halfway between Classic and Expert. All this will do is it will turn up enemy stats. However, if you turn it fully up to Expert, to the point where fully up to 2 times, which is Expert, to where the bar turns orange, then it will have stuff like the Expert mode exclusive items, AI, and all that other stuff. And same thing will happen if you turn it up to Master. You get like the Master exclusive extra accessory slot. We'll go over those in more detail later. The interesting thing about this is that the game will actually start you off right here at a new difficulty called Journey, which is basically, it's 0.5 times. All enemies have half the stats that they do of Classic, so it's actually an easier version. There's really no other difference. It's literally just enemies have less stats than even Classic mode. However, Classic mode is already pretty easy, so yeah, there you go. You also get colors. You get like a pinkish color, and then a white color representing Classic, orange color representing Expert, and red color representing Master. So this is one of the coolest additions to the game, because like Expert mode is quite a bit harder. I've started a playthrough on it. It is quite a bit harder. So if you don't really want that all the time, also Blood Moon Monolith, you can change the color thread to make it look like there's a Blood Moon happening all the time. Just thought I'd show it off real quick. In case you don't want all this stuff all the time, you can change it around. You can keep it on Classic most of the time, turn it up to Expert for like a boss battle, or just whenever you feel like you want to be challenged right now, or you can turn it up to Master if you want to suffer. Or you could even, if you think like something on Classic is too much, turn it down to Journey. You can change it whenever you want, with no restrictions. So that's most of the powers you have in Journey mode. You get to change the world bind the world to your will. But the thing you're probably most interested in is this duplication menu. Let's check out all the fancy items we can make in this game. There's nothing here. That's because in Terraria, you do not get every single item and block in the game right away in the creative mode equivalent. You will have to find them first. As you can see, each item now has an extra thing in their tooltip. Research one more to unlock duplication. You'll have to take the item down to this research menu here. Put it in the research slot, click research, and now you can unlock it for duplication. You can grab an unlimited amount of it. Allow me to demonstrate. If you research a stacked item, you need 100 torches, which you start off with. You also need 100 rope, which you start off with. If you have an item that can be stacked, left-clicking will pull out the maximum stack of it, which is 999 for torches. If you right-click, however, you will pull out one at a time, like normal, and it duplicates like normal. You also have a bunch of different categories up here, but none of these matter when you only have 3 items, so yeah. Certain items will take more to be researched. For example, dirt blocks, you need 100 blocks to be researched. There's also, like, for platforms, you need 200, because for 1 block makes 2. You know how it is. You need 99 gel, all that crazy stuff, and eventually, you could have an entire creative inventory worth of items. Good luck with that, however. This game has 5,000 items. So yeah, that's pretty fun. Before we transition to other stuff, I'd like to point out something about these fledgling wings right here. These used to be Journey Mode exclusive items. You could not get them outside of Journey Mode. We might as well research them. However, 1.4.1 changed. I mentioned this on the playthrough, but 1.4.1 changed around chests so that now the Lucky Horseshoe from up in the Sky Islands now generates underground. And instead, in its place, is a set of fledgling wings so that you can get them in non-Journey worlds. I'm pointing this out because in my playthrough, I generated the world in 1.4.0, which meant that up in the sky was the Lucky Horseshoe, not the fledgling wings. I didn't get to use fledgling wings, so I might as well show them off a little bit. Here they are. I don't have a shiny red balloon on this character yet, so this isn't the maximum that the wings will do, but it's pretty cool. Also, Journey characters just start off with a free grappling hook, and let me tell you, one of the biggest limitations to your movement early on, aside from your movement speed, is the lack of a grappling hook. Having to place a bunch of blocks to go up everywhere is so weird to have to get used to every time you start the game. With the Journey mode, you just start with like one of the best items for mobility right off the bat. It's one of the weaker ones, but still, it's something. That's all for basically how Journey mode is for new characters. So why don't we transition over to my official Journey character that has everything unlocked. And I mean it. Check this out. This is almost every single item in the game that you can research. They're all right here. Now, I need to clarify. I only played the game for 100 hours, and I don't think that's enough time to actually get every single item. That's because this is not legitimate. I cheated this in. There's a piece of software we will be covering later on that will allow you to unlock every single item in the duplication menu, and that's exactly what I did. However, I must say almost, because I did do this before 1.4.3 came out, the Don't Starve update. I don't have all the Don't Starve update items researched here, because there's a couple I'm missing, but otherwise, everything is here. Look at all these freaking items, and now you can more clearly see how it sorts them. These are almost all the weapons. I'm missing some of the Don't Starve stuff. Here's all the armor, I'm pretty sure. Here's all the vanity stuff, the armor that's intended only for vanity. Here's all the blocks and background walls and all the extra items on top of that. What did I just pick up? Luminite brick. Here's all the furniture. There's a lot of it. Includes every single banner, every accessory, equipment, consumable. Alright, it's freaking awesome, okay? Now, as a part of this topic, I have it written down that I want to show off a couple other special items. As you can see over here, I have every single possible info accessory equipped, but I have nothing in my inventory. Take a closer look at my magic mirror here. It's not a magic mirror, but it is in fact a cell phone. The Zenith is not alone in the fact that there are a bunch of other items in this game, a bunch of other ultimate items that you combine a bunch of other items together to acquire. The cell phone is one of them. The cell phone is every single informational accessory, clock, the metal detector, the DPS meter, the whatchamacallit thing, the lifeform analyzer, the tally counter, every single info accessory you can get, including some that I didn't actually get in my playthrough. If you're able to get them all, you can combine them all together until you get the cell phone. And finally, actually, the item right before the cell phone is the PDA. The PDA will give you every single informational accessory. As you can see, it displays everything. But the final recipe is PDA plus magic mirror or ice mirror. So that on top of showing you everything, it will return you home as a magic mirror would. Which is pretty freaking cool. And also, I just like the fact you can make a cell phone in Terraria. I just really like that. It's funny. It's one of the wackier things this game has for you. And, real quick, I might as well mention, the cell phone is obtainable in pre-hard mode, because every single info accessory is a pre-hard mode obtainable item. We'll cover this a little more later. For now, let's move on to something else. The Unk Shield, which I haven't actually held before, so let's see if it gives me an achievement. It does not, but that's fine. The Unk Shield is the result of combining every single accessory that gives you immunity to a certain buff, plus an obsidian shield. As you can see, there's also the Unk Charm. This is basically, like, yeah, this is the immunity to most debuffs, but, and then this one gives you defense, plus you also get immunity to everything. Also, huge skull in the background. I think that's really cool. We may have seen that in the playthrough, actually. Every single enemy inflicted debuff no longer happens with this thing on. I may as well keep it on if I'm also going to have this, because, yeah, let's keep it on. This, the Terrasavr boots, is another final crafting recipe. There are a surprising amount of boot items in this game. If you can find all of them, which includes a lava charm, an extremely rare underground item that really should be more common than it is. If you can find, like, I believe it's, of course, Spectre boots, then upgrade that into lightning boots, and then you need water walking boots, which are all then upgraded into obsidian water walking boots so you can walk on lava, which are then upgraded into with the lava charm, so that you can also go into the lava, and then you also have to upgrade the lightning boots with using the ice skates to make the frostspark boots. Combine the two of those together, and you craft the Terrasavr boots, which does all of that in one. You can walk on water, honey, and lava. You are immune to fire blocks like meteorite and hellstone. You have 7 seconds of immunity to lava if you go inside, which is what that fire meter was above me that appeared. It also reduces damage from touching lava. I think you also have the obsidian rose in there too, and it's got like the same effect as ice spikes, lightning boots, all in one. And it's one of the coolest looking boot items in the game. Here's what they look on my character. Yeah, the boots on your character don't look that impressive. Actually, they're pretty cool. They're pretty shiny. I usually keep them up though, so I don't really get to see it. Here's a Ankh shield. It's hidden underneath my solar set. We'll take that off real quick. I have God mode on apparently. There's the Ankh shield. Once again, doesn't look that too very impressive. Their solar shield looks better, I have to say. But yeah, there are a couple others. I'm forgetting one right now. Those are the ones I have written down, though. Those are really the only ones I wanted to show off. I think there are a couple others, though, but I'll leave it right there. For now, I've got a couple other special items I want to go over before we move on. First of all, this Daybreak is the other item you can get from the solar pillar, and I really like it. It's almost a ranged weapon, and it costs nothing to use. It's really fun to use, I must be honest, and I can actually show what the Star Wrath does. This is what the Star Wrath does, and I can also show the Meow Mirror. Whoops. It's just the best weapon ever, and it does 273 damage. This does 150. Then, look to the right. This item is quite special. No, I did not get this legitimately before you ask. I must make it perfectly clear I did not get this legitimately. Because if I were to get this legitimately, I probably wouldn't be here right now recording this. This is a very rare drop from Chaos Elementals in the Underground Hollow. How rare? 1 in 500. That's quite freaking rare. That's one of the rarest items in this game, I'm pretty sure. And it's probably rare and hard to get for good reason, because, as you can see, it teleports you to the position of the mouse. Point anywhere on the screen and click, and you teleport there. You will get a debuff called Chaos State, where if you use it again, you will lose a certain chunk of your health. 1 second. There we go. You'll lose a bit of health. It's never, like, shown to you or expressed as damage, but you will lose some health. But this thing is so great to use for, like, transportation. You can click on the edge of the screen to go faster, like so. If you're using God mode and Journey mode, you can do this. You can just keep freaking going. You can real quick teleport yourself underground or into a new room. You can even teleport yourself into a room you haven't seen before. You can dodge attacks using this thing. This thing is really fun to use. I wish it was slightly easier to obtain, or there was a guaranteed way of obtaining it. Even if it was hard, if there was just some way you could get this thing guaranteed, that would be amazing, because it's a lot of fun to use. And it really shouldn't be relegated to just a freaking rare drop from an enemy that's so rare you're probably not gonna get it on your average playthrough. Next we have a really fun weapon called the Starlight. This is a weapon that can drop from Empress of Light, and it's actually the rarest weapon she drops. It's a lot rarer than her other weapons she drops. And, yeah. Check this out. Does 109 damage. It's in a short range, but just look at this. It goes extremely fast, very fast speed. And if I could turn off my dragon a little bit, let me real quick teleport back over to this place. Find an enemy. Let's see how many frames it takes for the enemy to disintegrate into dust. 1. This thing is awesome. It is so cool. It's rare for a reason, and yeah, you can freaking tell. Yeah, it's rare. Also, Terra Prisma. This is your reward for defeating Empress of Light during daytime, which I've technically done with using the Daybreak. I haven't actually done it using the weapons I fought her with in this playthrough, but I have done it with the Daybreak, and so I can claim that I have this thing legitimately. This is what it does. It's the most powerful summon item in the entire game, because it races over to an enemy and slices through them like that. It's really satisfying to use. Perhaps even better if you had if you had armor sets that allowed you to have multiple of them, but I don't. Here's also the Kaleidoscope, the best whip in the game, 194 summon damage. Looks awesome. Also, I'm also giving the Crimson some love, because I might as well, because I'm here. And then, one more special item that I have never actually obtained before is the Rainbow Cursor, added in 1.4.1. This is an item that Chippy Gaming suggested constantly that should be added in the game. And you know what? They added it. It is a very rare drop, 1 in 100, or so I hear, from Empress of Light. And it's a vanity item, it's an accessory, and if you equip it, your cursor's main color glows rainbow. Which is pretty freaking cool. Oh god, I'm not ready for that stuff yet. That's basically all I wanted to cover regarding various special items that I would only be able to access through Journey mode. And that's basically all I wanted to cover with Journey mode. So next on my list is fishing. So you can tell I was looking forward to this one, I guess. Why do I have this furnace? Weird. As you may know, if you watched my playthrough, which you probably didn't, let's be honest, I only fished at, like, the very end of the game. And that's because I was not that interested in fishing throughout the entire rest of the game. I think you know the basic mechanics of fishing. You need a fishing rod, you need some kind of bait in the form of worms. Worms are the easiest bait to get. Sure, we'll just get cans of worms, why not? There we go. And then you go down to a thing. I'm near my glowing mushroom biome town. Put the fishing rod in, wait for the bobber to bob, and then you click it and you get your fish. Seems pretty simple, seems like there wouldn't be that much to it. There's actually a lot to it. There's a ton to it. So, first things first. You do know that there is an angler NPC. I hope you know that there's an angler NPC. Where is he on this world? He's over in the ocean. Let's real quick use my pylons. Go teleport there. The angler. He's actually kind of similar to other NPCs, that he does have special fishing items for you, but he differs in that you can't buy them. You have to go on fishing quests. I'm going to do one real quick. Caught in Desert. Read this ancient story about a fish that looks like a magical scarab, blah blah blah. Yeah, it gives you a wall of text about it, gives you a fish that you need to catch, and tells you where to catch it. Then, you go there, and you catch the fish. So let's head to the nearest desert, which I'm not sure if that would count. Okay, here we go. We could probably catch it right here. And then, you fish until you get it. And while I'm saying this, I might as well talk about fishing power. As you can see, one of the info accessories tells me about fishing power. Fishing power is similar sounding to pickaxe power and axe power that you have on pickaxes or axes that tell you, basically, how powerful the pickaxe is. The pickaxe power decides how quick you break blocks and what blocks you can break. Fishing power decides, gives you the more fishing power you have, a slightly higher chance you have of catching rarer fish, such as crates or quest fish, even. And the thing about fishing power is that it changes a lot. As you could probably tell, my fishing power is fluctuating quite a bit. It's going from 87 to 29. But yeah, that's because the fishing power isn't decided just from your fishing rod or your bait. It's actually decided based on quite a number of other factors. If it's raining, your fishing power is increased by a certain percentage. Unlike what this thing would make you think. I read that that is the case. Alright, that sounds great. There's a little more to it than that. Your fishing power is also increased or decreased depending on the moon phase, which you can actually see right there. So yeah, sounds great. You know, more full the moon is, higher your fishing power. I think that's how it works anyway. There's more to it than that. The time of day is also factored in to your fishing power. I don't know exactly what it is, and I haven't looked it up, but from specific hour intervals of the day, you will have a decreased fishing power, and then in certain other intervals of the day, you will have an increased fishing power. I have no idea how it works. So basically, yeah, the game wants you to fish a bunch, but you can't fish at these specific times, and you should wait until now to fish, but again, you have to do it a ton of times. We'll get into this in a bit. See how long it's taking me to catch this? I have 2 crates before I actually caught the freaking quest fish that I need. Thing about angler quests is, there is only one a day. There we go, we can stop. We got some cobalt, palladium, and some journeyman bait. Great. You can only do 1 quest a day. Once you're done with the quest, then you have to wait until the next day begins. Thankfully, it's an in-game day, and not a real-life day. Thank God for that. However, if you can't actually catch the fish by the time the day ends, he won't have the quest anymore, and he won't accept it. He'll have a new quest, and you'll have to ask him for that quest and go do it again. However, when you do actually complete a quest, he will give you a reward. His basic rewards are bait, which I didn't actually get any, but he can sometimes also give you sonar potions. I believe this shows you what fish you're about to hook. So allow me to try it right now in this water. This is just about that shows you what fish you've just hooked. And this is actually extremely good timing. Wow, mithril crate. But yeah, shows you as you hook it, so you could choose not to pull it up if you want. But those are his basic rewards. But he does have a bunch of special rewards. He has a random chance of giving you, better stuff. And after you've completed a certain number of quests, he's guaranteed to give you certain items. I can't remember exactly what they are right now, but yeah, basically, you have to do a ton of quests for him, or he will not give you the items. And, can I just say, there's a million things I'd rather be doing. I am honestly not the biggest fan of fishing in this game. I mean, I haven't given it much of a go. I haven't really tried it that much, to be perfectly honest. But it's just kind of boring. I play this game to explore, fight mobs, have fun, not stand still and occasionally click left mouse button a couple times over a pool. Waiting and hoping that one day I actually get an item that I want. Maybe if I really get into it, it could be somewhat relaxing, but it's not my favorite thing. And the whole point of this section is, there is so much content hidden behind fishing. In fact, one of them has cropped up right now. If you fish during a blood moon, you will get special mobs. Check this out. Let me, I still have the sonar on. Not enough water. Oh, okay. It's not big enough to fish. Sorry. Alright, here we go. Let's do the ocean. There's a couple of, like, somewhat stronger regular enemies you can get out of it in pre-hard mode. We're gonna turn off mob spawns. This is gonna get annoying. There we go. I am on God mode, but still. Might as well turn off God mode. Stop it! I turned off mob spawns for a reason. Jeez, guys. We're gonna freeze time so I can show some of this stuff. But during hard mode, you actually get, like, mini-bosses. Hello? Stop spawning. Thank you. You actually get, like, full-on mini-bosses. And these bosses and stuff will spawn special stuff. Oh, hemoglobin shark. I actually didn't click there. It spawned itself. Yeah, check this out. Does 23 damage. This is with solar armor. This guy, yeah, this guy's quite powerful. We will quickly dispatch him. He makes the same sounds as the enemies of Old One Army, which is interesting. He gave me 8 chum buckets. Consumable, toss him water up to 3 times to increase fishing power. Okay, interesting. And as well as this special hammer axe. Hammer axe. Funny puns. Ooh, seaside crate. What's in here? Thanks. Okay, this wandering eye fish, it left. I thought I didn't have to pull them out. Okay, wandering eye fish is a pre-hard mode thing. It's kind of like, okay, zombie merman is also in pre-hard mode. I mean, he moves pretty fast. He's like a blood zombie. So they give you a bunch of chum buckets, I guess. I want to pull out one of the other mini bosses before I wrap this up, but if you want to see what the rest of this stuff is, then I say play yourself. I'll real quick show on the wiki all the items you can get from blood moon fishing, specifically blood moon fishing. And in a bit, I'm going to go over the other items you can get from fishing. Okay, we got hemoglobin shark again. Yeah, what the hell ever. I mean, look at how powerful this guy is. He's doing 23 damage to me and I have solar armor. And yeah, he moves around this fast. This guy must be insanely difficult. I guess that's the only thing he drops. But yeah, here's a full view of every single item you can get from blood moon fishing. Now, as for regular fishing, let me unfreeze time. And also set time to dawn, because why not? There are a couple special items that you can only get from fishing, for some reason. One of them is the bottomless water bucket. This thing will place down water forever. If you're doing like a water build, you can place as much water as you damn well please out of it. You don't need limited water buckets. You don't need to collect water from water buckets. Here it is. It also gives you +2 range. Here's what it looks like. Pour it on the ground. It's just that, endlessly. It's gonna take out my campfires. No. Whatever. It's gonna fizzle out eventually. And then its counterpart is the super absorbent sponge. This will soak up an endless amount of water. This will delete water. So you can add and delete water with this. There is also a lava variant. Bottomless lava bucket, as you saw there. To get the bottomless lava bucket, you fish from lava. In order to fish from lava, I think you either need a lava-proof fishing hook, or you need one of the critters found in the underworld who can survive lava. I'm so tired of rain. It's just it happens all the freaking time. Another thing you can get out of lava fishing is the lava absorbent sponge, which does the same thing but for lava. As well as, I believe, dry bombs. This will cause a small explosion that will absorb liquid. Basically, you throw this, it explodes, and any liquid there gets deleted. There's also wet bombs, which I believe comes from regular fishing. You can just get it randomly in a crate. Let me see if I can show this off right here. Let's drop the wet bomb. Yeah, there we go. And then the dry bomb. So, in case you don't want to farm for the buckets, or you need it to go faster than the buckets, or the pumps, or whatever you have, you can use wet or dry bombs to get what you want. I believe there's also a water bomb and a lava bomb. There's also a lava bomb and a honey bomb. And then what's interesting is there's actually magic water droppers. I read about these on the wiki, and I like to see what they do. Basically, you place these down, and it creates... Yep, it creates a dripping area. You may have noticed that down in caves, there are areas that have dripping water in them. That's not a random animated effect. Those are blocks. Secret blocks that are sitting there doing that. I believe they're even marked on the map. Yeah, they're even given a blue icon, dripping water. And they cannot be removed with this. They instead must be removed with a empty dropper? Or no, empty dropper is a material. Magic sand dropper. What the hell is magic sand dropper? Oh, is that like a falling sand effect? Well, it's there. Oh, weird. The water drop disappeared. Oh, wait. So wait, is it... I guess they are? Okay, either there's only one drip, or they are actually removed with a pickaxe. That's interesting. I didn't think they were. Yeah, those are pretty interesting. However, what you may be asking is, how do you get the bottomless water bucket or the sponge? From Angler Quests. He has a random chance of getting them to you. It's too much for me to go over right now. But 3 of the biggest rewards are the Sextant, the, Weather Radio, I believe? Or the Fish Find... Nope, the Fish Finder, no. It's the Weather Radio, and... Fisherman's Pocket Guide. These 3 info accessories give you the weather right here, the moon phase, and the fishing power you can see right here. Weather and moon phase are stuff that I do not think should be relegated to fishing. There is no way to obtain these 3 things outside of fishing and doing angler quests. That is the only way you can get them. I do not think these should be relegated to that. Because knowing what the weather is and knowing what the moon phase is really useful information that really should just be there. I mean, not there all the time. It makes sense why it isn't. It makes sense you need accessories to see time and stuff. But there's really... I don't see a reason why these 2 shouldn't be gotten some other way than angler quests. One of the most boring things you could ever grind for. And you craft all of them to make the fish finder, and then you need the fish finder to start the whole crafting tree that leads you up to the cell phone. I just don't understand why so much content, so many cool items that would be really cool to have in regular gameplay are relegated to angler quests. And, like, I've tried to do angler quests in this playthrough, I really just couldn't get myself to do them. And with the whole, like, you need to do fishing at certain times to get maximum effectiveness, it's like the game wants you to do a ton of fishing, but it also wants you to only fish at specific times. It's like, I get that they're designing this assuming that you're like sticking with a world for a while. You're building a ton of stuff, you're exploring the game to the nth degree, and in that time, sure, you probably have time to complete all the fishing stuff. But at the same time, I disagree. It's just boring. And, like, I could never get myself to farm for all this stuff. Even though it would be really nice to have, I will probably never get it on a regular playthrough without cheating it in, because it's just, I don't care enough. Fishing quests, I believe, like, the first 5 fishing quests you do are guaranteed to give you nothing. Wow, thanks, Relogic, but... So, yeah, it's not something I want to do. It's just... And that's just because there's simply nothing that much to fishing. And, I mean, yeah, it's a side mechanic in an otherwise adventure game. It's perfectly fun that there's nothing. But if there's this little to it, this is all you do. Just box yourself in away from enemies. Do this. Until eventually you get what you want. It's really boring. You're essentially standing still doing nothing. Sure, might be slightly relaxing, but I play this game to... I have a, honestly, kind of more relaxing time going and doing the adventure, at least on classic mode. Whenever I have to stop and fish, it's just like, I need to get the fish I want, and then the longer I go without, it's like, oh my god, give me the freaking fish I want. Yeah, you get the point. I don't really like fishing. I'm not the biggest fan. And I wish there was another way to get those items. They would be really nice to have. So, here's an idea. Oceans. As you can see here, this ocean has a special looking cave in it. Oceans have a random chance to generate with one of these caves. As Chippy Gaming has declared, why is there more done with them? I mean, I don't know. They're kind of empty. There's seaweed in them. You can get a dye item out of it. And there's an increased chance of water chests. That's basically it. How about an underground ocean biome, an ocean depths biome that goes like all the way down on the side of the world? You might have to redo dungeon generation, like make it spread out over this way all the time. And both oceans would have this, theoretically. And then these biomes will have, like, cabins in them with chests, and those chests have the info accessories and the bottomless water bucket. So you could either fish them up, or you could risk going through the ocean caves, which you need quite a bit of equipment, like a diving helmet and stuff to breathe underwater in, and then try to survive down there while being attacked by sharks and some other stuff to find it through exploration. Like, give the player more options to get some of this stuff. Like, have more than one way to get the Rod of Discord or something. Have more than one way to get this Star Wrath. Yeah, I don't have no idea what other ways you could do, but maybe other options to get this stuff, to get some of this stuff, is kind of preferable. I love this game, but that's something I would change, is I would probably add more ways to get certain items. Speaking of which, one of the Blood Moon drops, the Blood Moon monolith right here, it's one of the Blood Moon fishing drops. And right there was where the journey mode topic for this video would stop, but I realized I actually forgot to show off the extra Don't Starve items from the Deerclops like I was going to. Teapot? How do you make a teapot? I never noticed that. There are a bunch of other cool items that you can get from Deerclops, such as Lucy the Axe. This axe, this is an axe from Don't Starve that is alive and talks. It's tied to one of the characters, and it really, really likes chopping down trees. Take a look. You know, I hadn't played Don't Starve before this crossover came out, but I had watched some videos, and I knew of this axe, so the awesomeness of including it, and the surprise of it being included, was not all that lost on me. It was actually pretty cool when I encountered her for the first time. I believe also, if you put it in your trash slot, it says stuff like, "This sucks." If you pull it back out, it says something else. Wait for the emote, I guess, to disappear. And if you don't chop trees for a while, it starts nagging you about it. It's like, "Hey, let's chop some trees." So, yeah, just like it does in the game, might as well keep it in my inventory. Then I think the other one is the, it's some kind of ranged weapon. I think I might look for it here. There we go. The Pneumatic Horn. Converts bullets into random stuff. So this will just shoot a completely random thing, and it'll do a random amount of damage. At least I think it does. You also have this vanity, the Eyebrella, that has a pretty cool effect. If you put it on, you get a rain cloud above your head that is also apparently dyed. But yeah, this is what it looks like. So that's neat. I don't know if I'm forgetting anything else. I think that might be it. I got too tired of searching around for it in the inventory, in the duplication screen, so I just decided to use the treasure bags to find out what they were. But yeah, I think that's it from what I remember. I don't think there's anything else. Although, that isn't all. There are a couple of, like, pets you can get. Like, you can get Glommer, you can get Bernie from her, the princess. I believe you can also get a couple of weapons like the Ham Bat and the Bat Bat. But I don't have any of those because all of those are pretty rare drops. Something I do have, though, is Abigail's Flower. If you create a graveyard biome, this has a rare chance of growing in it, and it summons in Abigail, who I hear is kind of a very powerful summon, at least in Terraria, and also in Don't Starve. But I'm not entirely sure. Let's see how she attacks things. I'm no expert on summoning. Yeah, that's how she attacks. She crazily creates like an area of effect to damage. It's only 6 damage, base level, but still pretty cool. And not that hard to get. You gotta just kill yourself a couple times and get the tombstones. By the way, speaking of that, I might as well point out that tombstones, normally, the only way you can get them is through dying. That's the only source of tombstones. However, if you're a hardcore character, obviously you can't keep killing yourself to get a bunch of tombstones. And they don't make you, because if there's a hardcore character on the world, then NPCs who die will drop tombstones, and you can get them that way instead. That's very thoughtful of Relogic. Like, as they were making graveyard biomes, which I almost never use, so I mean, I wouldn't really have cared if that wasn't how it worked, but since they added graveyard biomes and they gave you all these exclusive items and abilities that graveyard biomes have, they thought about it a little bit and realized, wait, what if they're a hardcore character and the only way and they can't get tombstones? Then the NPCs drop them. I just thought that was cool. With that, however, that was Journey Mode. Basically, Journey Mode is the regular game, except you can go through it at your own pace. You can choose to turn off mobs, you can choose to raise or lower the difficulty whenever you want, you can choose the weather and time, and you can keep, like, you can research a very common item and then keep duplicating it forever and ever and ever. It makes the game a lot easier, but you can always choose not to. You can always choose to just, like, have a regular playthrough, but you get the option to switch difficulties if you want. If you feel like, man, this thing's taken a while, or man, I wish I was being more challenged right now, you can turn it up or something. I don't know, it's... You can do whatever you want. You could do stuff at your own pace. You still have to explore the game. You're not given everything, but you can do it at your own pace. And I think that's a really cool addition. Journey Mode is a really neat addition. It's probably, if you're having a hard time getting into the base game, I'd say start here, because this will allow you to check everything out and get all the practice in that you need in order to tackle the regular game. I went for the regular game first, and the regular game was perfectly fine, but yeah, in case you can't get into it, this is always an option. Oh, and before I go, I might as well say, if you have the cell phone, you don't have to have all this on over here. You can click these to turn them off. So I can turn everything off except the clock. And there you go. It declutters a lot of stuff. In case you don't really want everything on at once, you don't have to have everything on at once. I choose to have everything on at once, though, because it's kind of cool having that big long list over there. With all of that done, that's it for this topic. It is time to take my leave. Because our next thing that we are covering is outside of the game. I've been building up to this the whole video, if you couldn't tell, because yes, we're covering those two things. Terrasavr and TEdit. These are two data editing softwares, save data editing softwares for Terraria. Terrasavr handles character data and TEdit handles world data. Basically, you can put your existing characters or worlds into these two and edit them in almost any way you want. Whether that's placing blocks in the world, drawing blocks, or editing the inventory of your character, and it's very easy to use. The interfaces of both of them can be slightly strange, especially TEdit and kind of Terrasavr as well. I mean, they're not made by the official developers, and they're not really made by official game developers at all, so that's probably why. These increase the things you can do in Terraria massively. They give you so many extra features, abilities, and everything, and if you feel like, like New Game Plus, where you can start a new world with endgame equipment and blaze through the game, isn't enough for you, then you can always use these to, whatever effect. I'm not really sure how to advertise them other than this. This is basically, So, yes, this is technically cheating. I'm not really sure what the developers' opinions on these two are, because it wasn't made by them, but this is a sandbox game. And no matter if the developers want you to adventure, to find and earn your way to do stuff first, it's still a sandbox game, and I think any sandbox game should allow you to cheat, at least a little bit. Even games like 7 Days to Die, and I think even Don't Starve, have a cheat mode that you can turn on, so this isn't much different from that. I would exercise caution, personally. I might as well get this out now. As these are not official creations by the developers, there is a possibility you could corrupt your data, so be sure to make a second copy of all your data, all your players and worlds and whatever, all your characters and worlds, in case this happens, especially if you're using older versions of the software and aren't updating them. But yeah, this can corrupt stuff. It has for me once, so... Also, these pieces of software may allow you to change something to a value that the game doesn't like, and the game might not handle that well, so do keep this in mind before you start. However, now that you know that, we can get started. Terrasavr is actually based in your browser, funnily enough, and you can download it. However, I did that, and my antivirus freaked out and deleted it after a while. So, I wouldn't really recommend it. You could just pull it right up in your browser wherever you want, no matter what computer you have. put your character in and make the edits that you want to. TEdit, on the other hand, as far as I can tell, is a Windows-only downloadable. I think there is a browser-based world editor you can use. I would recommend checking the Terraria wiki for that if you're interested. So Terrasavr is the much more simpler of the two. The character save data is the much more simpler of the two because it's not saving each individual block in a world. It just saves your appearance, your maximum health, your mana, and your inventory, including all 4 portable storages: the Piggy Bank, the Safe, Defender's Forge, and Void Vault. Each of those has its own separate inventory, and you can change and edit it around however you'd like. That is actually how I got the Goblin Battle Standard, the Snow Globe, and the 5 Deerclops summons at the start of this video. When I fought those, I actually used Terrasavr to put those into my inventory right before this video. And also, fun fact, on the main stats screen, you can change your maximum health and mana to whatever you want. Again, I would recommend being cautious about using this. I'm not sure how the game treats it, I haven't tried, but basically, the regular health values are anywhere from 100 to 500, counting up in 20s, or actually, it's actually anywhere from 100 to 400 with 20s, and then from 400 to 500 in 5s. I'm pretty sure you can safely put in whatever value you want, but take that comment with a grain of salt. I don't actually know. Anyway, I think the far more interesting of the two is TEdit, which I have up right here. I found out how to do fancy, scene transitions in OBS, and now I just abused that. So, here we go. I've got nothing on screen right now, and that's because you can make a world in TEdit. I don't know, by the way, what's up with all the sprites and stuff disappearing as I hover over them. I don't know what's up with that, but otherwise it works properly, so I think we're good. You can make a new world within TEdit, but do keep in mind that if you do this, it will create a completely flat world right here. As you can see, this is how you make a super flat world in Terraria. You use TEdit, but it does make a real world. And then the rest of this plays out very similarly to like a pixel art drawing tool. As you can see, where is the... Okay, you got like pencil and brush. And you use the pencil and brush to place blocks. You can place them with a big square, with a big circle, with a... I believe a big circle. Yeah, here we go. It's like a regular drawing tool, but with Terraria blocks. So check this out. I can place a ton of dirt. And this is actually placing them in this world. If I were to save this world and put it in my worlds folder, I could play this world and this would be here. And because of that, it's pretty easy to use because Terraria's 2D side-scrolling plane just makes things so simple. If you want like really big, massive builds, but you don't really want to make them in-game, you can always make them here. Although it might be good to specify if you're going to upload it to Terraria subreddit or something that this was in fact made with TEdit. Some of these controls are a little confusing. There's a lot of options up here. Basically, like, you check which ones you want to do. Right now I'm placing both tiles and walls, but if I say just walls, I could place, if I say just tiles, I could play just tiles. And if I say just walls, I could place just walls. That wall being nothing, actually. The wall is nothing. You can set the wall and the blocks that you're placing right up here in this menu. Obsidian wall, there we go. Looks beautiful. This is my art piece. I call it nothing. It doesn't deserve a name. But then you have stuff like actuators you can place. You can paint stuff. And I believe... where is it? Oh, paint mode. You can change between the regular blocks or walls, then wires, liquids, minecart tracks, or sprites. And sprites is interesting, because if we go over here, sprites is basically everything that isn't a block. It's a piece of furniture like a life crystal, furnace, crafting station, etc. Again, I have no idea why they're disappearing. It doesn't really give you the right vibe, but yeah, it's fine. So I can place a bunch of jack-o'-lanterns down. It gives you all sorts of styles of them. I can place a bunch of jack-o'-lanterns down right here, and then I can put a clay pot next to them for fun. You can also add NPCs. Sorry, I should select one first from this menu. We're gonna add the wizard, and we're gonna add him. Wizard added to spawn. Where would that be? He is... Oh, spawn is over here. Jeez, I didn't even see. So here's the wizard. Now there will be a wizard in the game, and one cool thing about this is you can actually name them whatever you want. The default in TEdit is just the NPC's title, but I can name him anything. I can name him Dumbledore. So just in case you're really tired of farming out for a James the Clothier and you just, because you're a huge Chippy gaming fan and you just really, really want him, then you can come to TEdit, spawn one in, and name him James. I believe you can only spawn in one of each NPC at a time, but it's not just the villager NPCs. You can also do worms, apparently. What? Worm? Okay, sure. You can name the worm. What is the... You could do... What? I didn't know you could add critters. The skeleton merchant. That one makes sense. Grasshoppers? You can add bunnies. Okay, cool. I don't think you can add mobs. Those are always added in-game. And then, you have stuff like analysis. I think I'm not sure what it does. It gives you a lot of this. I don't know what that means. I think it tells you just a bunch of information in a bunch of weird code language. I may not fully understand it, but here it tells you, like, the percentage of blocks that are air, percentage that are stone, dirt, grass. It can be useful for very specific uses. Special tiles. Oh, if you place a chest down here, let's go place a chest down. Then you can click on them with special tiles and the pointer tool, which is over here somewhere hidden amongst the weird bad rendering, or right click on them. And you can change not only the chest name, and also the appearance of the chests. You can make it a pumpkin chest for fun, but also what items are put inside of it. It's kind of similar, sort of, to the inventory system in, what's it called, Terrasavr. Oh, that's the modifier. The actual item is down here. So you pick a slot, then your item is down here. Hidden in a list. Oh, sorry, it's validating world, 1 second. And you get a full list of every single item in the entire game. I could put an Abigail's flower here, and I can make it dangerous. And if I save it, now that item is in that chest. Yeah, I'll have to excuse the weird visual glitches going on here. Not sure what's causing that. It seems to work most of the time, so it's all good. I think you get the idea. So finally, you have world properties. This is a long list of a bunch of things that you can edit. This is basically like, this is how the game saves all the conditions of, like, time of day, whether or not it's raining. It saves it in a similar looking list, maybe a little more primitive, just to make sure that when it reloads the world, not only does it look at the whole map of blocks to make sure it places each one in the same place, but it looks at this list to make sure that the world is the same when you return to it, because, of course, it being a computer program, the computer will forget about stuff when you quit it. One weird thing with the time here is that you have a slider, but you need to uncheck this if you want it to be nighttime. So that's a little weird, but it's fine. You could change moon style here. Green gas, wonder what that is. A sandstorm, how much sandstorm time is left, how much rain time is left. There's some of this stuff I'm not really sure what it does. There's like, right down here, the invasion events. They have invasion X target right here. Supposedly that decides where they target, and in-game that's always set to, like, your villages. They can't attack outside of your villages, so I guess that's where it's set. But you can only set it once, and then it breaks the program when you do. So that's nice. 32221. There we go. That's an actual number. I'm not quite sure what that is. Also, invasion size. I'm not quite sure what that is either. Also, you get to check this, and then in case the program really doesn't know, you get to choose it down here. Isn't that fun? And you can choose all the backgrounds. There's a lot of stuff you could do here. The game will also keep track of which bosses you've killed, and so you can check this. If you check Wall of Flesh, the world will be in hard mode. If you check Skeletron, you'll be able to go down into the dungeon. And there's a bit more to it, but I think I'm gonna stop there. I'd be here for 5 hours if I was going to go over every last feature of this program. So you know what we're gonna do instead? One of the cool things about TEdit, or any Terraria world editor, is the ability to load in a world that you have, such as Plaza of Homicide, and look at it. And so I think, for this video, we are going to load up our world and look at the entire thing. Oh boy, look at this. So yeah, it shows you every single block at full brightness. And here's our main town, here's my creeper face base, here it is in more detail. Here's where all the NPCs are saved to. They respawn in these positions upon, upon restarting, although the princess lives here, so I guess it does save the NPC's last positions. It doesn't really save their house positions. That's interesting. You can't change the house positions in TEdit, so I wonder how the game deals with that. And as you can see over here, the list, every single thing has been defeated. For some reason, oh, that's right, the 1.4 bosses are down here for some reason, even though they should be in hard mode bosses and pre-hard mode bosses, I'm not sure why. But yeah, and we only have the cat, but we've saved and done every single thing. Oh, it tells you which one you've done. That's to check which one you've done, so that it can spawn in Goblin Tinkerer, it can give you extra hairstyles from the stylist, and all that stuff. And we just did Frost Legion, so that's checked. Also, this is pretty interesting. I'm pretty sure this tree slider here is meant to decide your tree styles. As you can see, you have the classic style tree over here, and then over here we have a different style. I think this is down here is supposed to mark where they are in the world. But then you have a similar one for caves. I'm not really sure what that means. Like, is it moss biomes? Could be moss biomes. Anyway, take a look at the grand view of the world. As you can see, this is the V of both Hollow and Corruption that was generated upon the start of hard mode. And I converted this all up here to sorry, not to hard mode, to Hollow. And then I converted this down here, also to Hollow. And it has taken over almost all of my desert. The only thing, it's starting work on this side. It might actually, if I stay on the world longer, it might actually work its way up to the top and then start spreading on further. Whatever, it's the Hollow and it's fine. Here's the entire jungle. The jungle is always the biggest biome. You'll notice that the ice caves actually end as soon as lava starts. You can see that below, like, this line here, some pools of water in the cave start being replaced by lava, and that's actually where the ice cave stops. It doesn't go down fully. Here you have the dungeon. It looks surprisingly small compared to all the other stuff around it. Here you have a bunch of marble caves and granite caves. Did I go to this one? I think I went near this one, because I remember going near here and a bunch of... Oh yeah, I went through it, actually. There's torches. And I must have gone through this. Oh, this is where I fished, isn't it? Because this is right underneath... Or no, around here is where I was fishing, right. I just love the fact that I got kind of unlucky with glowing mushroom biomes. Like, I went down into this cave, I dug left and found this one, and then this one was just chilling here the whole time, and I didn't notice it until hard mode. I didn't go until hard mode. But yeah, surprisingly, it's actually only like, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8... There were only 8 glowing mushroom biomes. I don't know quite how many I found. I think this is one of the ones I found. But, one really cool thing. I've already done this before just because the curiosity was killing me. Also, that's weird. The dungeon, like, has this weird... It has a chin that's underneath the ground. That is strange. But one really cool thing, you will notice that there is a random hollow biome here, a random corruption biome here, a random hollow biome here. Those are from smashing the demon altars in the corruption. I broke a lot of altars, and that's the result. Also, you can see these big pockets of sand, all these cool little details. I just love doing this. I love going and looking around the world. If you zoom in far enough, it gives you the full Terraria texture. I just love looking at the entire world. That's not limited from what little you can see of the maps. There were only a few big beehives, and there were 2 granite caves inside the jungle, 1 marble cave, 3 marble caves, actually. There were 3 marble caves, and there were 2 additional ones right out on the edge. And then the jungle is like the biggest underground biome. I think I may have seen all these floating islands. I hope I've been to that one. If I did, it doesn't matter. I have all the items. And then here's the left side of the world looking extremely sad. These blocks over here, you will notice, these sand blocks are not actually corrupted. That's because this is out of bounds. TEdit, or not really TEdit, but the entire world is actually a few blocks smaller than it would appear from this screen. In fact, the border might be like right here, because I don't remember this big steep hill. And it's like that on all edges. The viewable and placeable areas in TEdit are actually slightly bigger. Like, I think it might stop around here. I don't know the exact number of blocks, but yeah, the actual accessible world space in-game is slightly smaller than the true world data and how it's saved. which is pretty interesting. You'll also notice that, like, on the very edge... Oh, sorry. On the very edge... It's not visible on this side. Okay, fine. Going to the other side. The very edge, these sand blocks are not... They do not group up with the rest of the sand blocks. There's also these random things that are probably glitches, but because you don't see them in-game, what does it matter? And of course, if you want to change something about your world, you want to add something new to it, you want to add a big old cube of dirt in the sky for no reason, you can add it, and then you can save it, and do it. One good thing to note is that if you decide to save your world, wait until this thing down here says world save complete. It'll also do autosaves, apparently. If you decide to quit TEdit while that thing still says saving, apparently it gets corrupted, because, it's, the reason why that you see the message like, saving data, please don't turn off your PC or your game console or whatever. It's because if you turn it off while it's saving, it will not save properly, and then your game is screwed. So don't do that, please. Also, oh, those are patches of palladium. I see. One interesting thing I'd like to point out before we go is that the underground desert has pockets of lava next to it, up higher than the actual lava layer, which I thought was pretty interesting. And also the jungle, as you can clearly see here, the jungle loses its grassy walls when you get really deep. When you get down to lava layer, the grassy walls disappear. You can see here they're replaced with mud walls. That's cool. This is just very cool. Oh, and another good use for TEdit, if you're tired of the game not giving you Plantera bulbs, go to sprites. And I believe you could say filter is basically code words for search. Plantera bulb. Filter. Yeah, here we go. This is what you want. Grab Plantera bulbs, place 1 million of them. Boom. All done. They have styles? What? Wait, they have slightly different appearances, or is that the animation? Do they play an animation in-game? I can't remember. I can't remember if they do or not. Alright, well. Anyway, I'm not actually going to do anything. We're going to switch back to pointer, and then I'm going to leave this here. We're going to save just in case I did something bad. But yeah, this is, that was Terrasavr and TEdit. These are excellent for having more options throughout your Terraria experience. I'm going to quit this for now, however, I will actually keep pulling this up for special reasons. Those special reasons is our next thing to go over. So, have you ever played Minecraft and gone to the seed screen and entered a random word hoping it would give you something special based on the word, and then been extremely disappointed when it loaded and there was nothing different? Well, Terraria kind of does that. It has a seed feature, and for a little while the seed feature was actually experimental. It was somewhat tough to get working, supposedly, and in fact, even if you use it now, even though it's an official feature now, if you use it now, it doesn't actually always give you the same world, exactly the same world. It'll give you a similar world, but not everything will be exactly the same. It's not like with Minecraft, which is strange, but that's probably some quirks of this game's engine. Anyway, that's not important. What's important is you can put codes in here, and they give you special worlds. There's actually quite a few of them. There are a total of 6 special seed codes, and 5 special worlds you can get out of it. I'm gonna go over the first one real quick because it doesn't give you a special world. If you put in Terraria, probably one of the first things you might try, the guide at the start of the game will always be named Andrew. Andrew is the name of the original creator behind this game, Andrew Spinks, otherwise known as Redigit. That's basically it. I believe the guide named Andrew will drop a special hat called a green hat when you kill him, and that's the only thing. Otherwise, this doesn't do anything special, and I'm pretty sure if you use it, it'll give you the same world each time. Unlike the rest of the seed codes. It's not as interesting to go over, so we're gonna go over the rest of the seed codes. When you put in a special seed code, the seed feature doesn't exist anymore and you can't use it. It'll give you a random world every single time, and because you have to put in the code, you can't get the same seed out of this. But that doesn't really matter, because I would personally not use the seed feature myself. I like having a random world each time, and besides, the worlds are mostly the same, to be perfectly honest, so it doesn't even matter that much. Our first seed code is 05/16/2020. That is a date. That is the release date of Terraria 1.4. I think there's a couple other things you can do to get this, but this seed code will give you a Drunk World. I think I'm going to make it medium just for the sake of consistency to compare it to what Plaza of Homicide looked like in TEdit. And we're going to make a journey. I'm playing this on my journey character. We're going to leave it random because it actually doesn't matter. Let's start creating it. It starts creating this world called a Drunk World. And as you can probably tell by the loading bar, one of the biggest features with this world is it has both evil biomes in it. It has a corruption biome and a crimson biome in the same world. There are a couple of unique features that come along with that, which we will go over in due time. But if you think that's the only change, no, there's a lot more. This is probably the biggest special world seed, the most content-packed. Also, you get this special loading screen to know that you did it right. It's placing a ton of traps for us. Sounds great. The song playing in the background right now is the menu theme for the console version, which I actually preferred the original menu theme for the PC version. Although the menu theme we have now is pretty good. I actually didn't decide a world name, but the Exiled Niche. That sounds good. You can tell it's a drunk world because the tree here will have both evil biomes on it. Each special world will now have its own icon as of 1.4.3, so I'll show off what they are as we go. Let's hop in. So, 2 changes. First of all, the party girl is now our starting NPC. I just realized real quick, I never changed back to game capture. The party girl is actually our starting NPC this time. And listen. Oh, sorry. This is not Terraria music, but it is rather music from Terraria Otherworld, a spin-off game that was planned to be created but was cancelled. But not before it had an entire soundtrack composed for it, so it is in the game as a secret soundtrack hidden in Drunk World. And the party girl is here because she now has a music option. Once you have been to one of these worlds, you get this music button throughout all of your other worlds. If you click it, you will change the soundtrack. On these worlds, it'll change you back to the default soundtrack, but on any other world where the default soundtrack is the default soundtrack, this will change you to the Terraria Otherworld soundtrack. We're gonna play it for a little while, because it's something different. And I've listened to every track, and there are some tracks in Terraria Otherworld that are really good. I mean, there's the theme for rain, and for, like, desert and ocean are all awesome. I dare say they're even better than the default soundtrack. Overall, though, it's kind of a mixed bag, just like the default soundtrack. I think there's some good themes in here. I think there are some okay themes in here. I think there are themes that could have used a little more oomph put into them, for lack of a better means of explanation. Oh, I never showed this off, the Shroomite Digging Claw. You make this out of Shroomite, and I slept on it. I had no idea it existed, but it is awesome. Look at how fast it digs things. It is amazing. And unfortunately can't break lizard bricks, but that's a small price to pay. So, as for other changes Drunk Worlds do, these, you're seeing one of them right now, basically. Living trees. These big trees are way more common. They are featured more extensively throughout the surface. So if you're ever having trouble getting a finch staff or something, then come here and you'll get one, or a living wood wand, or a living wood anything. Yeah, right here, finch staff. Got hunter potion, might as well carry those, even though I played my journey character and I have every item. I can pull it out of my pocket whenever I want. Then we've got some other changes. I can't tell if this is part of the seed or if it's actually something that generated. It seems like it is, because it generated with a palm tree. But anyway, I'm gonna let you hear the desert theme before I move on. I'm not going to sit and wait for you to hear every single track, because, I mean, there's only three others that I like, but I want you to hear that one. It's one of the best ones that this secret soundtrack has. Here's a real oasis biome, and then moving on past that, we have got more living trees. Told you they were common. Now, you know how regular worlds typically have patterns to their generation. Basically, the desert, caves, and the jungle... Oh, whoa. They're blocking the view of the forest biome. That's cool. The desert caves and the jungle are on one side of the world, and on the other side of the world is the snow biome and the dungeon. That's not the case anymore. As you can see, the snow biome is right here. Basically, those generation rules, they don't mean anything anymore. It's all cards are on the table. The biomes can place themselves wherever they damn well please. Whoa, what is this? It's like, it's a snow biome in the middle of the jungle. I can't wait to see what this world looks like in TEdit. This is weird. You can probably tell by now why exactly it's called a drunk world. That's why. Because nothing matters anymore. Place the biomes wherever they get placed. Here's our Crimson. There's corruption on the other side. That's a cool looking background. Complete with the bunny cloud hovering above it. I like the arches. Reminds me of a certain national park in the western US that is called the same thing. I don't think there's anything different with oceans, so we'll just ignore the angler sleeping right there and check out the other side of the world. I also don't believe there's that much different with anything underground, but we can always check it out in TEdit. One thing I'd like to find out, though, is a chest that has a pretty funny item in it, or actually two pretty funny items in it. I think one of these living tree chests that I've been glossing over could actually have one of them. What is this generation? I tried to generate a room right above a hallway and then got overwritten. Nice job, Terraria. And really? A sandstorm is happening? I guess we haven't seen sandstorms either. I don't care about sandstorms. They're not special enough. They're not important enough. Okay, nothing there. But yeah, you can clearly tell just like all the living trees kind of makes surface traversal a bit of a pain. You have to dig through all of them all the time. Still nothing new in the chests. But I'm hoping to find one of the interesting additions to this world, or interesting changes on these worlds. Since both the jungle and the snow biome are on the other side of the world, basically what you have on this side is a bunch of deserts, and eventually the corruption should be here as well. Yep, here's the corruption. Beyond this should be the dungeon, because it was not on the other side. Yep, here's the dungeon. Can't see it? This is a living tree that has its leaves painted brown with paint. With in-game paint. And a chest that is partially painted brown, but not entirely. Whoops. But this is where your dungeon is. Yes, down here. You go deep, and there's a cabin here. There's a cabin that generated here. What was in this cabin? A mace. Great. Actually, not a terrible item to find early on, but yeah. This is where the dungeon starts, and we may actually have a dungeon guardian, but this is where the old man is, underground, and this is technically where you can fight Skeletron if you want. He still doesn't let you, despite it being underground, he still doesn't let you fight Skeletron if it's not nighttime, but you do get dungeon enemies, so I guess it doesn't really matter. Are we gonna have dungeon guardian? We are underground, we are in the yep, there we go, there's dungeon guardian. Hi, dungeon guardian, what's up? Can I kill you with? Nope. Dungeon Guardian is programmed to be basically unkillable to prevent you from going into the dungeon early on. So those are the biggest changes on the surface with Drunk Worlds. The inclusion of both Crimson and Corruption. Speaking of which, I should let you know, there are various effects in the worlds that are caused by having either Crimson or Corruption as your world evil. And how Drunk Worlds deal with that is that they have a primary world evil randomly chosen upon the world's creation, or actually, it's decided based on which one you click on the start, I'm pretty sure. If you choose, that is. And then it will alternate every day. So, today it could be Corruption, the next in-game day it'll be Crimson, and then that decides what people trade to you. I'm pretty sure there's also one of the two evil biomes are preferred to generate more ores relating to them. I'm not quite sure, but That's basically how it works. Let's find a spot, let's dig underground, because there are a couple minor changes that I'd like to go over while we're here. We're gonna pull out and equip a Spelunker Potion while we're at it. Whoops, caps lock is on. We take a close look at these ores, we can see platinum right there, silver right there, lead right there, tin right there, copper right there. That's more ores than you would have. You would only ever have 4 underground ores, at least generating embedded in the walls like this, at a time in a world. Hi, what's up? However, that was interesting. The music just cut out completely. In Drunk Worlds, you actually have both types of ore for each tier generating. You have copper and tin, you have iron and lead, you have tungsten and silver, and you have gold and platinum. You can get every single type of ore on this world. And a spider cave this early on, that's interesting. And this even extends to hard mode. When you get to hard mode and you break the altars for the ores, you will get all types of ores, not just cobalt, mithril, or adamantite. You'll also get palladium, orichalcum, and titanium. I had to remember what they were. I've never gotten titanium before, so I momentarily forgot it was a thing in this game. But it is. I got a void bag right here. Overall, though, I think underground is basically the same. I can attempt to search for the 2 special chest items for a little while longer, but I'm not sure it'll really get us anywhere, and eventually I'll just give up. And I think I'm already giving up. Yeah, let's... Ooh, wait a second. Wait 1 second. I'm not sure if all the glowing moss caves are in here, but judging by the fact that this glowing moss cave is really close to spawn when they're not usually, they're usually located like out here, then it's possible that each moss cave biome is actually here. Usually your world only has one color, either green, pink, or blue. So yeah, I'm not quite sure exactly what it is, but man, do they look cool. Anyway, the 2 special items you can find in chests. You can find a Red's Potion, which is right here. I just dodged a bat like a boss. I didn't even have to. Red Potion is a potion that is only for those who are worthy. And what exactly does that mean? Well, if you drink it on these worlds, you can find these in chests randomly. Some not great stuff happens to you. I have the Ankh shield on. Hang on. We're gonna take this off real quick. We're gonna put on God mode, and so that I don't actually lose any health, and then we're going to drink another one because I had God mode on, but you get like every single debuff in the entire game for 60 minutes. So eventually, if you keep this on, you'll lose a ton of health at once, you won't be able to see, you'll be extremely slow, you'll have your controls reversed and all that, and it'll stay this way basically until you die, or until you talk to the nurse. At least I'm pretty sure. I'm not 100% sure. This is taking us a while, but if you drank it at 100 health, it would be much faster. There we go. I couldn't breathe. That was suffocation that was killing me. Suffocation is the debuff I think you get when you're inside of sand. You don't usually have it just on as a natural effect. As for the other item, if you ever wondered where Moonlord's legs are, they're right here. This is a random set of leggings that you can acquire in a chest, just completely randomly. They give you 3 defense and slightly increased mobility, apparently. I'm not quite sure what that means. I mean, maybe I've got Terrasavr boots and stuff on. But yeah, here's what they look like. I hate them. I hate everything about them. Basically, the story behind these is that there was an event on the Terraria Discord, or so that I hear, regarding Moonlord's legs. Where did my pet and light pet go? Wait, what? Is that a side effect of the, Red's Potion? It takes away your pets, too? That's mean. How dare you? What the hell? Why are they gone? Whatever. Actually, no, I didn't have my light pet on before, did I? That's weird. I don't get what's up with that. But anyway, basically the story behind that is there was some event on the Terraria Discord where people really wanted Moonlord's legs to be added to the game, and the lead developer, Andrew Spinks, said, like, if you pay me $15, I'll do it. And they did pay him $15. So he did it. I hope everyone's satisfied with the end result. I just deleted it. I was gonna wave it around and show it off. Otherwise, I think there's only, like, one extra change. If we pull out an item that I haven't actually shown off, if you fish in lava, you have a chance of pulling up a demon conch. A demon conch will warp you to the underworld. Yeah, on Drunk Worlds, it actually doesn't work by default. And that's because, in the underworld, there is one massive lava lake at the center, and the ruined houses are actually on the outer 2/3 of the world, rather than in the center third. It kind of inverts that. So now that we've seen all the stuff I'm interested in covering in-game, why don't we pop this world into TEdit and see what it looks like. Wow. Okay, so the dungeon is a very bright purple. Yeah, the dungeon is apparently painted a bunch of colors. And you have this slightly resembles the same dragon mouth structure that opens it on regular worlds, but this time it's underneath this desecrated looking tree. Also, both oceans on both sides of the world always have a weird ocean cave in them, so in case you're having trouble getting seaweed, that's how. Oh, right. Okay, there are a couple of changes. As you can see, that's not what granite caves usually look like, and that's not what marble caves usually look like. Granite and marble caves swap their generation styles, so yeah, this is a typical granite cave generation, but it's marble instead. This is a typical marble cave generation, but with granite instead. I don't know if anything's different about glowing mushroom biomes. They appear to be the same. Maybe they're slightly smaller. They're certainly not what they were before 1.4, though. Here's the underground desert. Nothing really different about that, but look over here. Wow. Okay, first of all, absolutely no caves anywhere right here. We have this weird, like, dithering effect between the jungle and the crimson. And then the snow biome is just plopped in the middle of it. I love that. And also, what are those? Oh, those are like weird ambient tree tiles on top of the, on top of that. So the ice caves in the snow biome, they're just mixed. That is so weird. You still have frozen chests, and there are a couple places for the regular enemies to spawn, so you probably do have an original, like, you probably do have a regular ice cave here. Not really, though. Oh, yeah, that dithering effect is all over. Is that just how the game handles it normally? That might actually be. That looks familiar. And as you can see, the jungle temple is painted green, or some yellowish green. From TEdit's zoomed out view, it looks like it's a pear or something. Oh, and one extra thing. These living mahogany trees underground, not only do they seem to generate way more frequently, I'm seeing way more of them, but I think they generate everywhere underground. I'm not sure, I'm not seeing any. There also seems to be a few more spider caves, but maybe I wasn't paying attention last time, and there were the same amount of spider caves. I'm not quite sure. But yeah, that's basically a drunk world. It's a very weird world, but if you want your Terraria experience to be slightly more strange, play one of these. And also, because they have both Corruption and Crimson in them, sorry about that, you can fight both Eater Worlds and Brain of Cthulhu. Down here is the huge lava lake. Yeah, normally this kind of terrain right here would be all throughout this, but instead you just have this massive lava pool covering everything, with occasional deposits of ash and hellstone in between. You will note that when I loaded the world, the settling liquids took slightly longer. This is why. The more liquid blocks there are on a world, the longer it takes to settle them. The floating islands can be based on different biomes. You have one based on the desert up here, with including one of the fountains that changes water color. That's cool. This one here is based on snow. This one here is also based on snow. It's just a regular lake. See, this one here is based on snow. This one here is based on desert. This is a regular lake. Okay, maybe there's some more to them than that, but you know, we just didn't see any. Oh, and look at the beehives. They are much bigger. Check this out. And sometimes they have more than one queen bee spawner in them. Yeah, have fun. Enjoy this world. Oh man, it's weird. There's also a setting in TEdit over here that says Drunk World. Yeah, This, I believe, turns on the whole, like, alternating but back and forth between Crimson and Corruption each day. I don't think it really does everything that a Drunk World does. I don't know what Good World means. What is Good World? Apparently the default, the starting World Evil was Crimson because that's checkmarked. What is Good World? I wonder. Alright, that's gonna be it for that. Let's go and check out the next type of world. Stonks. I can't believe that's a word in world name generation. The next one is Not the Bees. This one is kind of a joke world from what I can tell. We're gonna make a medium like usual, generate it. You know if you're doing it right because it says generating bees and absolutely nothing else. At least I think it does. It's taking a long time. I'm scared. I'm scared to see this world in TEdit. The icon is a jungle tree surrounded by bees. Sorry, mahogany. And there's a good reason for that. As far as I know, the entire world is a jungle. And it's got honey everywhere. Basically, all water is replaced with honey. Having trouble collecting honey in your main world? Come here. And supposedly there are queen bee spawners on the surface as well. Your starting NPC is the merchant. And the reason why is because if the merchant is in a jungle, he actually sells a furnace. And that's because this world is so screwed up, it doesn't really even have any stone in it. So the only way to make a furnace early on is to buy one from the merchant. Which is just great. They added the function that if the merchant's in the jungle, he sells a furnace for that very reason. For this world, as a reason. I have absolutely no idea how you could make any kind of regular Terraria playthrough on this world. Just let's check this out. It's endless jungle, as far as the eye can see. Not only do you start in the jungle, one of the toughest biomes early on, at least on the surface, but like you have to deal with bees basically all the time. I don't even know where those bees came from. I've used the Meow Mirror in one direction and then it spawned bees eventually. I don't actually see any queen bee spawners, but does that matter? I see a lot of bee spawners. I don't think there are any special items you could get in this world. Nah, this is standard Terraria loot. I'm pretty sure this is all it does. We can take a look. I don't think I'm gonna go underground. We can take a look at what the caves look like in TEdit because they're probably no different from it's probably just jungle caves. We can, however, use the Demon Conch to check out what the underworld looks like because I wonder if the underworld has changed that significantly. But yeah, check out all this honey. There's even more honey than there is water in a regular world, and the only other biome besides jungle is the world evil. And it's not even that big, it just ended. Oh look, it's a living mahogany tree on the surface. Does it have the usual loot? Okay, it's got the same loot as regular living wood trees, but this time it's a mahogany tree instead of just a regular wood tree. What is this? What is this mess? It's a bunch of honey blocks that like stick you to them. Oh my god, it's the ocean. This is the ocean. This is the ocean, everybody. How beautiful. I love it. Throwing a bunch of glow sticks down, and oh yeah, god. Oh, it's terrible. I hate all of it. This is your beach. I hope this is what you want. And for your Terraria experience. Let's check out the underworld. Let's use the Demon Conch. By the way, the Demon Conch has a regular counterpart called the Magic Conch. You get the Magic Conch from either the underground desert or from fishing in oasis biomes, I believe. Real quick. Okay, never mind. It's right here. It teleports you to the oceans. If you click it twice, it teleports you to the other ocean on the other side of the world. So here's the underworld. Doesn't look that different. It's... until now. That wasn't there before. A queen bee spawner in the underworld. A lot of them. There are a lot of queen bee spawners. Let's take a look at Enraged Queen Bee. This is how Queen Bee acts if you fight her outside of the underground jungle. As you can see, she's attacking me much faster. But when you have the Zenith, it doesn't really matter. Sorry to say, Queen Bee. Man, that is a lot of freaking... that is a lot of Queen Bee spawners in the underworld. That is crazy. Oh, look, we have a glowing mushroom biome. Crispy honey blocks. And, this is a giant beehive. Is there a queen bee spawner in it? No, there isn't. That's surprising. There was a coin portal in it. Any queen bee spawners around the next corner? This mushroom biome... Wait. Is this the entire bottom of the world? Look at all these beehives, by the way. Crispy honey blocks and beehives. Is this the entire bottom of the world? Is the entire bottom glowing mushroom biome? If so, that's pretty cool, actually. Alright, well, yeah, you get the point. Let's check this out in TEdit. Oh, sorry. You guys can't see it. One second. There. This is... Oh my god. Oh, and look. It's a patch of regular jungle. The rest of it, however, is jungle mixed with hive block. Wow. And then a regular jungle, because, you know, they had... their priorities were like, okay, we need this weird freaking stupid biome we're making, and then regular jungle. Oh, and then desert caves. Yeah, sure. There's a desert on this side of the world. And here's one of the rare entrances. Oh, look, queen bee spawners on the surface. What the hell? And a dungeon that's painted, like, brown. And, how big is the dungeon? It's a pretty regular dungeon, aside from it being painted brown. And it has queen bee spawners in it, because of course it does. Here's our other lovely looking ocean. Here's the ocean cave. There's a water chest in it, with queen bee spawners. And then, oh, here we have the glowing... Oh no, it's the snow caves? It's the ice caves! Mixed with hive! What even is this seed? Oh, and look, it's a jungle cabin! I'm at a loss. There's no surface snow, there's just ice caves there. And then a desert house? What is that doing here? Is this a desert? What is this? What is this? It's just a massive hive. Is this supposed to be a regular desert? And then the oasis gets its... This isn't even an oasis. What the fuck? What the hell? The underworld is actually pretty normal. The only thing is the queen bee spawners that aren't usually there. But once you get down to lava layer, the hive block transforms into crispy honey block, and then yeah, it's just a bunch of glowing mushroom. In fact, I just noticed the entire jungle gets replaced with glowing mushroom. That is cool, actually. I kind of want to go back into the world and check this out. This seems really, really cool. The jungle temple is actually normal colors, but zoomed out, the TEdit seems to think otherwise. And then there's more snow blocks over here. You needed some way to get snow, I guess, so there you go. Let me do world analysis and see how much of this world is stone. Okay, we got a lot of blocks here and a glitchy program. Where's stone block? Okay, well, I assume it's not a lot. Look, dirt block, 0.53% of the world. That should probably tell you how much of this world is stone. None. There is none. Don't come here if you want stone. I saw some, like, in the weird ice cave things over here. Let's see. Crimson doesn't appear to have any queen bee spawners in it. I am sorely disappointed, honestly. And these are the only life crystals I've seen, by the way, going over this world. Oh, there's a queen bee spawner right outside. I guess that counts. It's so weird. There's also no indication whatsoever where the underground jungle is, or where the jungle caves are, the regular jungle caves. It's just here, sitting on the side of the world. Oh, so weird. I love it, though. I love it. Next up is the code for the worthy. Now, if you've played Master Mode and you thought, man, that's not difficult enough, I need something harder, that's what For the Worthy is for. It makes the game even harder than Master Mode. However, one cool thing about it is you can actually pick whatever difficulty you want. So, For the Worthy on Classic is not going to be as hard as For the Worthy on Master. If you'd like to see For the Worthy on Master played through in its entirety, Chippy Gaming has done one of those. It's a really cool playthrough, and I recommend you go check it out. It looks insane, and it looks completely insufferable for me to play, and I don't think I'm ever going to do it. But I will at least show it off on Journey Mode so that I can, you know, show it off. For the most part, it's actually a regular world. Also, Red's Den of Education is a very fitting title for the Worthy. It's actually a pretty regular world, all things considered, ignoring the backwards text on this generation, but there are a few generation differences that make it harder and every single enemy in the world gets an extra boost to their health and damage, on top of whatever the harder difficulties might give them. So, also, certain bosses are smaller or larger, depending on who they are, and that it always ends up making them more challenging. I don't think I'm really going to show that off. I'd rather let you guys see it as a surprise. I think I'm just going to focus on the generation differences. So here's your icon. It's one of those vanity trees that randomly replace a regular tree. Our starting person here is actually the Demolitionist, and I think the reason why is because bombs don't generate naturally anymore, or so I hear. At least underground they don't, and so you have to buy them from him if you want bombs. Also, if you shake a tree, it has a chance of dropping... If we can get it. Somehow I'm not getting it. Okay, we are on... What's our difficulty right now? Our difficulty is Journey. Let's turn it up to Classic to see what kind of stat buffs they get on Classic. I'm actually pretty interested to see this. Alright, the trees aren't giving me any, but trust me, the trees drop live bombs on you sometimes. You're just chopping down trees, minding your own business at the start of the game, and then boom, a bomb lands on you. And pots. Oh, yep. There's a live bomb from pots. Pots can also drop live bombs instead of dropping bombs as items. So 28 health. I believe their regular health is 14, 50 health. Let's see their, let's take off my armor real quick and see their damage. 11. It's usually like 7, so yeah. I think it's like a percentage increase, so it gets worse on Master Mode. Let's go to Master Mode real quick, check it out. You didn't spawn in as part of Master Mode. By the way, the difficulty options down here will only affect new mob spawns. They will not change the stats of already existing mobs in the game world around you, so do keep that in mind. 150. And how much damage? 42. Master Mode doesn't, even Master Mode doesn't have that much. So, like, let's see, Star Wrath. Okay, it still the Star Wrath still kills them instantly, but yeah. You know, it's hard. Believe me, it's gonna be bad. Let's turn it back down to Classic. And then let's check out the surface, see if we can spot any oddities. This is weird, but honestly, I don't think it's a part of the seed. I think that's just weird generation. Wait, real quick. Check what's in this chest. Nothing, okay. Moving on. We got the Crimson right here. This is nothing new. It's just, it's Crimson. Got a snow biome here. I believe the generation, like, format is the same as it usually is. There's a snow biome on the same side as the dungeon. One weird thing, though, I'm kind of glad we're going this way, because one weird thing is that the dungeon is not only painted a certain color, but it's actually flipped the opposite way for some reason. And I guess that was just a random beach thing that generated in the other world. That was not part of the junk world, because it's a part of this world. Let's check the chests, because, just in case we can find any natural differences. No, okay. Regular desert. Oh, this dungeon is painted purple. I believe it's random, and it's flipped the other way for some reason. Also, there's a ton of sand blocking it. That's not intentional, but yeah, it's a thing. So, that's kind of it for the surface. I mean, one of the things with this seed is that lava can generate on the surface now, and lava can generate much higher than it normally does. I think I'm going to head underground normally, because lava can appear on the surface. It can also generate way higher than usual. We might see some of that in TEdit later on, but let me real quick dig underground. Yep, as you can see, that light source can't be created by anything other than lava. The lava layer is no longer a thing, as the lava layer is now just everywhere. And I unleashed a live bomb on myself. Oh, that's one thing. Apparently breaking blocks is slightly faster on these worlds. I'm not really sure why, and I think ore veins are also bigger, but I'm not sure why, but it's a change. Anyway. One thing I did want to check out, and why I was searching those chests, was just in case I found a Reds Potion. Reds Potions also generate in this world. However, you may be able to tell by the tooltip, they do something different on these worlds. If they are drunk on a For the Worthy world, they will give you 3 random buffs for 30 minutes, as opposed to every debuff in the game. Every bad debuff in the game. Or every common debuff, I mean. This can be surprisingly useful, like Wrath, 10% increased damage, that's great. And, heart reach is okay, and mining is pretty darn good. I mean, just look at this, we're mining even faster now than we already would be. We got a glowing mushroom biome. I don't think these are any different, but we can teleport here just to get some open space. Away from all the mining. One minor change is that the underworld, if we go down here, the underworld now has all these singular lava blocks in amongst the ash to make it harder to dig, and I believe also every single house in the ruined house in the underworld is now made of hellstone brick. On top of that, every demon that spawns will be a voodoo demon, which makes it easier to spawn in the wall of flesh. So, careful of that. As for the rest of things, it's the same as Terraria, except it's slightly harder than whatever difficulty you've chosen. The bosses are different sizes. The generation is, I think, it's not much different aside from the things I've shown, but we can review it in TEdit just in case there's something I've forgotten. If you're interested in a full list of effects for each and every seed, the wiki page will tell it to you. Yeah, okay, I was hoping to see a demon, which, you know what, let's turn up the spawn rate till we see a demon. 5.70, let's go. Show me a demon, please. Yep, okay, there's our voodoo demon, there's a voodoo demon, there's a voodoo demon. Yeah, I think you can trust me on this one. There's a voodoo demon, you get the point. Here it is in TEdit. As far as I could tell, there's no real difference. I mean, I see 3 crimson biomes, but that could always be a possibility. There's a lava pool on the surface, and there's another lava pool on the surface, there's another lava pool, pretty easily accessible. The jungle temple is also much bigger, actually. You know what? This is what the jungle temple needed, because without it, it's not really that hard. That's interesting. Without it, the jungle temple is actually not really that hard. But yeah, this is Golem's chamber. The typical jungle temple size is like here. And it's much bigger. It's much longer. It takes a lot longer to get through. And that's a good thing. I'd be interested in going through one of these. I think I might try a For the Worthy world on Classic at some point to see how much harder it makes the game. Okay, and yeah, this confirms that the dithering effect is actually used in regular worlds. That's interesting. That's cool. I don't think any of this stuff is different. The ice caves here are generated in a slant, but they always do that. They will stop at the lava layer like normal, even though there's lava in them. As you can see, there's lava in the ice caves. And apart from this, that's basically it. Everything else is standard Terraria. It's Terraria, but slightly harder. And I just spotted two enchanted sword shrines over here. That's cool. I've encountered some of these in game, so it's cool to see them. Next up is the Seed Celebration Mark 10. This was added in a quick update for Terraria's 10-year anniversary. Neighborhood of Confinement. I'm not sure if that's a very fitting name, but whatever. And it's basically made to celebrate it, but it also has some other gameplay uses. There's actually no indication that you've done it correctly, so I hope I'm doing it correctly. We will see as we load in, though. There are a lot of changes to this world. Mostly visual, but yeah. And here's the icon. It's a tree with a pink stuff and a bow. Oh, is that also represent corruption? I'm not sure. And so, first change is, there are 4 NPCs at the start, technically 5 if you count the bunny, and we are on the beach. We're not at the center of the world like the spawn point usually is. The spawn point of this time is on the beach. Second difference right away, or the third difference technically. There's a party happening, a party event where everyone has party hats, there's balloons in the background. Third, the entire world is painted. It looks like we're in a hollow biome right now. This is actually regular grass that's painted to look like a hollow biome. This is a pretty normal world, except that it is painted a bunch of colors to look more festive. And another difference is, if we check the princess, normally her items that she sells are just cosmetic stuff, but this time, she actually has some pretty special stuff. Slime staff, heart lantern, and flask of party. This is a special item exclusive to this, I believe. Heart lanterns you can now just buy, you don't have to make them with life crystals and chains, and slime staff. This is one really cool feature about this world. As far as I can tell, most of the infamously rare items in this game are now made easier to get, either with heavily increased drop rates, or the princess straight up selling them, like with the slime staff. The slime staff is one of the hardest things to get. I actually got it once legitimately, but it drops from slimes randomly, We have a corruption biome right off the gate. The corruption biomes aren't painted any different. They don't deserve it. But yeah, Slime Staff is one of the rarest items ever. Slimes are extremely common enemies, but it's extremely rare. So being able to just buy one right there is pretty cool. It's pretty interesting. You also have a dungeon that's painted this color. Is that glowing? Okay, that's a water candle. Snow biome looks the same. We can actually go underground briefly because I'm pretty sure there are some cool paint colors down there. Most of the world looks like a hollow biome, but as you can tell from this, it is forest. Living wood trees are a lot more common, just like with Drunk Worlds, and they generate more frequently. I'm also pretty sure that in chests, if the chest has an item in it, if the chest has an actual weapon, something that can receive a modifier, it is way more likely to have a good modifier. I haven't found any. But, like, that goes for basically any chest. Quick Step Stool, plus 4%. This is the best movement speed modifier for accessories. Every single item that generates in chest that can have a modifier will have one of the best ones on it, for whatever it is. So if you have a weapon, it can have Legendary, it can have Ruthless, all that stuff. And I believe the drop rate for the Rod of Discord is increased to 1 in 200. Isn't huge, but it's a lot better than 1 in 500. On top of that, there are a bunch of Pirate Invasion exclusive items, basically. Yeah, plus 4%. That's the highest for the critical strike chance line of modifiers. Let's go into that cave. Oh, whoa. Goblin Scout just spawned, but I'm at the center of the world. That's interesting. I guess that doesn't matter anymore. Maybe it's centered around your spawn point that Goblin Scouts don't spawn. I'm not sure. That's interesting. I believe certain bosses are also smaller for some reason. Demonic, that's one of the better items. That was a gnome. I don't know if that was part of the seed or what. Demonic. Again, like all the best stuff. And then, in addition to all that, there are 2 new enemies that can spawn. 2 exclusive enemies to these worlds. One of them is a golden slime. I'm not sure exactly what the golden slime drops, but it's a golden slime. And you can find it rarely underground. Second one is in hard mode, the jungle will have a jungle mimic, which was a previously unused item. Unused enemy. And, oh no, that's a regular ambient background object. I remember seeing that playthrough. Oh, here we go. The cabins are made of rainbow brick, or at least I think... Yeah, they are made of rainbow brick. And they have a regular magic mirror, because magic mirrors can't have modifiers. Yeah, that's basically it. The jungle mimics, their drops are not good. They drop a bunch of like, the worthless items in the game just for fun. But jungle mimics are now a used enemy. I could go and show them, but I'm too lazy to. So instead, I'm just gonna go down to the underworld, see if there's anything different with the underworld, and then we'll head back out of here and see what it looks like in TEdit. Nothing new with the underworld as far as I can tell. So let's check this world out in TEdit. Alright, so we can see that, you know, the forest biome is colored blue, just like the hollow, and so is the desert. The desert's colored green, it seems? Or no, it's probably colored blue. Desert, it has a pyramid. Oh, that's right. Wait, click on this chest. Special tiles. Click on this chest. What's in this chest? Menacing flying carpet, Pharaoh's robe. So, pyramids are an interesting... Hang on. There. Pyramids are interesting structures. Here's what the rest of the world looks like. I forgot to switch it over. Sorry about that. I hope I didn't make that mistake for other worlds too. The jungle is not painted either. It's got a lot more water, it seems, though. That's interesting. The other beach is the same too. That is a weird look. Never mind. Anyway, usually a pyramid will either have this vanity set, the Pharaoh's mask and robe, or it'll have the flying carpet, or it'll have sandstorm in a bottle. But with this chest here, you can actually get both the Pharaoh's mask and the Pharaoh's set and whatever other items it has. It did not generate with a sandstorm in a bottle. However, if you move the princess to a desert, she actually sells it. And in addition, I was about to say, before I forgot, if you do the pirate invasion, the princess will sell all of the rare items you can get only from the pirate invasion. The coin gun that shoots coins and does damage depending on what the coin you shoot. The, wait. TEdit uses a shiny version of the party girl to denote the princess. Okay. Interesting. Interesting choice. Alright. Slightly confusing, but There's also the, trying to think of what else. There's the coin gun. There's the pirate staff. There's a bunch of items you can get from there. They're all pretty rare, but the princess will sell them to you if you do the pirate invasion. So you can get them much easier that way. Also, some cabins have this really cool, colorful rainbow paint on them, but some cabins have the rainbow bricks instead, like this one. I think the one-room cabins have rainbow bricks, but if there's ever a 3-room or a 2-room, it has the multicolors. That's cool. Otherwise, this looks like regular Terraria. There are, of course, differences in spawn point. Your spawn point is on the edge. There's not really, like, there's a desert basically at the center. That's not usually how it is. The floating islands, where the tops of the trees are, like, dark purple. That's cool. The floating islands are bright pink. That's okay. Everything else seems to be the same, though. So, oh, wait, this is painted, like, purple and dark green. Dark purple and dark green. Cool. Got it. Might look different in-game. Wait, why don't you just go check it out in-game, then? Why don't you go play the game and check this out? Because this is good game. Finally, I promise you this is the last one, for now anyway. They added a secret seed as a part of the Don't Starve crossover. It wasn't just the boss, they also decided to add a secret seed to go for it. It is called, to access it, you type in the Constant. The Constant is what the world in Don't Starve is called, so yeah, makes sense. And this is probably the most interesting one, in my opinion. You can tell if you get it right because you will have this filter on your screen, the same filter that the radio thing gives you, that we saw earlier. Now we just wait for the world to generate. Its icon is an evergreen tree, similar to the trees in the game, in Don't Starve. So let's join in now. A constant world will constantly, have this filter on, and the radio thing will, if you equip the radio thing, it will turn it off. So let me find it right here. Die Trader Robe, interesting. If you equip the radio thing, it'll turn it back off. However, we're gonna leave it on because, you know, it's a special filter for the special world. And now, one of the biggest and most interesting changes this thing makes. Check out our buffs here. Let's get rid of these. We have a buff called Peckish. You could eat, but it's not so bad. That is a hunger bar. If this buff of 5 minutes runs out, we will get a debuff called Hungry, where we will have the same effects as I think the debuff called Weak. And in order to fill it up, we have to keep eating food. So let's find, where's food? Where's consumables? Any food like this that says medium improvements to all stats, you can eat, and then you will get the regular food buff, you'll get the improvements from the buff. When you run out of the food buff, you will get Peckish again, and you'll also have this emote above your character to signify this. To better signify, or else you'd be left in the dark. But when you run out of Peckish, which you may be able to cancel, no, you can't cancel Peckish. Well, whatever, we'll see what it does. You go down to Hungry, and then when Hungry runs out, you start starving to death. So yeah, it's a hunger mechanic in Terraria. It's not that bad, though. Food can be hard to get at the start. You just need to, like, shake some trees, get a piece of fruit or something. It doesn't take that long, but as soon as a traveling merchant comes by and sells you food and you have the money for it, then the hunger mechanic basically doesn't exist anymore, so that's fun. Now, we have a couple of changes to how the surface generates stuff. This is a patch of marble on the surface with white statues. These are just the regular old Terraria statues that are colored white. They're supposedly a reference to, There's supposedly a reference to the various set pieces in Don't Starve that look similar. They're just random marble patches. There's also spider caves on the surface, because, you know, there are spider nests on the surface in Don't Starve. I believe if you stand inside of them, all spawns will be spiders. And spiders are pretty powerful enemies. This is kind of a challenging change here. So yeah, I'd not really recommend trying this in expert mode, and that's right. Okay, 2 changes. First of all, cacti now hurt you by contact. And second of all, let me take this off so I no longer explode when I take damage. The damage sound is changed to be the same as the characters in Don't Starve. Specifically, if you have a female character like I do, then it plays the same sound as Willow when taking damage. If you have a male character, on the other hand... Oops. It'll play the same sound as Wilson, which I always find really funny. I find Wilson's damage sounds to be really funny, but anyway. That's your new damage sound. There isn't the same, like, impact hitting sound that Don't Starve has. I kind of wish that was the case because, I mean, it makes it just a little bit better. Also, this filter adds some kind of fuzziness to the edge of your screen. That's pretty cool. This is the biggest desert I've ever seen. Holy crap. It's a desert and an oasis all in one. I guess one half of it has the desert caves. That's basically it with surface changes. I'm pretty sure otherwise it's the exact same. Oh, the boreal trees in the snow biome might look a little more like the Don't Starve versions that you can also see in the background. I think they changed the backgrounds to accommodate with that. There are Don't Starve themed special looking clouds that go by in the background that have an increased chance on these worlds, and otherwise, that's almost it. But of course, that's not it. In Don't Starve, if you stand in complete darkness, some random creature will attack you and will eventually kill you. It does a lot of damage and should be avoided at all costs. So, naturally, Terraria does the exact same thing. I have to take off my solar armor so that I can do this. If you deer yourself into complete darkness, eventually you will get a status message down here that says, "It's very dark, you feel in danger." After a little while, you will start to take 50 damage every single second. And then when you go back to light, danger of the dark is past. It's unlike Don't Starve where, like, you need to spend resources on light. In Terraria, this is an insanely easy mechanic to ignore. Because all you have to do is that. Just tap shift with a torch in your inventory and you're good. And you get more than enough time to craft torches. Because, you may also know that if you play Don't Starve, the night times in Don't Starve. Whenever it's nighttime in that game, the world goes pitch black. And if you're in the pitch black, of course, you take damage and die. And that happens in Terraria as well. However, there is a catch. Let me speed up time real quick. In Don't Starve, every night except for full moons has that pitch blackness effect. If you are on a full moon, then you will not have that effect. However, Don't Starve nights start with the moon phase at new moons, unlike Terraria. What that means is that the first night in Terraria, when it comes, is actually a full moon, meaning the same full moon effects will apply. Whenever it's a full moon, or a new moon actually, I think they extended it to new moons as well, your filter will become this bluish color, and you'll be able to see across the entire surface. You may even be able to see better than you can normally. Let's see what this looks like without the radio, with the radio thing on. Real quick. Speed up time. Does it get any darker than this? No, it doesn't. It doesn't get any darker than that the whole time, the whole night. Which is pretty strange. Well, we're going to put the filter back on because we're going to advance over to the next night. Yeah, I think you're clearly meant to have the nighttime on. But yeah, we're gonna skip over to the next night because any other moon phase that isn't a full or new moon, the night will get dark. Dark enough, not only so you can't see, but to trigger the whole will kill you in darkness thing. And this is unlike regular Terraria. I think regular nighttime Terraria brightness is just a hitch lighter than that. You could see the screen went really dark for a moment there. That's because the moon phase changed. And so, yeah. Oh, I'm hungry now. Oh, we're gonna wait for that to run out. In the meantime, let me speed this up even more to the fastest time. Go, 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 please. I don't have all day. Nope, nope, nope. We're not having this. We're not having that. Go away. Alright. Sun is setting. We're gonna turn up the time a little bit. We're gonna go, like, times 8. How about that? Yeah, that seems good. It's about the same as the one for sleeping in a bed, actually. At least it seems that way. Yeah, you could tell. It's getting darker. It's getting darker as time goes on. And this is with the filter on. It has the same orange color with the filter on. We're going to turn the moonlight down. Let me take off my solar armor yet again, because the solar armor does actually emit light, and yeah, this is what it looks like. Welcome to Terraria, have fun! And yes, it's dark enough to start killing out of nowhere. Here is what it looks like without the filter on. It's slightly brighter. You can see the ground, but you're still in complete darkness, and still have to light up your surroundings. And with the filter on, pitch black. I think this is really, really cool, because, like, this is the most you can see in the night. This is it. I always liked how Terraria nights were darker than your average adventure games nights, and this just goes, triple on that. Of course, the full effect isn't really there because, you know, it's with Terraria's lighting system where you don't even need resources, you just hold a torch out and you're perfectly fine. There's nothing much to it, but it is still so cool. The darkness is basically... The darkness becomes dangerous at about 8 p.m. and stops at about 3 a.m. When we get that far, we're gonna go off into the darkness somewhere. If we can, avoid the fallen stars. There we go, pick them up. Eventually, we will be able to see ourselves. Stop it! You're ruining it! So are you. Here we go, now we can actually see the ground as it comes up. The danger of the dark has passed. And so at 3 a.m. it basically stops. It's still extremely dark and hard to see, but it's not dark enough to actually kill you over it. And then here is what morning looks like. It's really cool, honestly. I love that they added this as an option. It's not the hardest changes in the world. There might be also a couple other differences to structures, generation, to world generation. If there are, we'll see them soon. But yeah, it's kind of like an interesting challenge. It adds an extra bit of survival onto your Terraria adventure. At least at first it does. After a while, it's meaningless, but still. See if the underworld is any different. Doesn't seem like it. It looks a lot more weird looking with the filter on, but... I mean, hey, the caves probably do as well. Alright. Was the world called Tasty Pinnacle? That is the most fitting world name I've ever seen, and I almost forgot to switch the thing again, sorry. Yeah, I think this is the world we got. Okay, let's take a look. So, we got... Oh, man. Good luck getting through this. Let's pull up world properties again. Good luck getting through a spider cave on your way down. So, as you can see, there's slight differences in cave generation. There's a lot more, like, big open rooms in the caves, and... diagonal paths than there are normally. It is a part of the seed. It's basically confirmed at this point. But I don't know if that's supposed to be a reference to Don't Starve or not. But you'd think there'd be more spider caves. There actually aren't. Outside of the ones on the surface, there aren't that many more spider caves. The ones on the surface are the only new ones, and I mean, yeah, they change things a lot, but they're the only new ones. Did I make this world small? No, I probably made it big. There's a pyramid. Out of curiosity, which item was in this pyramid? Let's check it out. Special tiles. Right click. A flying carpet. Okay. The flying carpet's fun, but I got it in one of my playthroughs, but it's not terribly great. Otherwise, it's standard Terraria. This is a standard color dungeon. This is a standard color thing. It's Terraria, but there are marble patches on the surface with statues. There are spider caves on the surface. You have a hunger bar. I didn't actually show what it looks like when you starve to death, but trust me, it happens. And the game goes fully black at nighttime, and if you're in the complete darkness for too long, you start taking damage. None of those really add huge challenges to the game, with the possible exception of the spider caves, especially if you play a harder difficulty, but it's still, like, some little interesting thing you could do. And also, look at that, like, swirly cave design. You also get some slightly different caves while you're at it. Oh, this would have been interesting to go through, just like a zigzag back and forth. Zigzag back and forth. I love how when the Terraria sprites are loaded, the frame rate of this thing is much lower than without. It's all good. Got two cabins right next to each other too. Nothing new with the underworld. Yep, it's the same. So that is the end of the Terraria world seats. Thank God there were a lot of them. And you know, I probably could have kept it on display capture that whole time, but I didn't do that because I'm evil. This is what switching to game capture looks like, by the way. It takes OBS a while to realize I should be looking at a game. It's kind of funny. That is every single secret world seed that is in the game in the current version. I have one more topic left to go, so let's join as my regular character back on Plaza of Homicide. And yes, by the way, I did actually get Outskirts of Garlic Bread and the Modern Plumbus in the Terraria world name generator. It's seriously one of the best features in the freaking game, I swear. To end off this video, I'm gonna give some updated opinions on Terraria, and I think I'm not really sure what I'm gonna be doing in the background for gameplay. We're not gonna put that there, no. Put that on. I'm not really sure exactly what I'm gonna do in the background while I'm talking about all this, but I would just like to give you my updated thoughts, basically, because I have had some updated thoughts since then. Where are my solar wings? Where are my solar wings? Let me use fish on wings instead. Okay, so in the playthrough at the end, I said that my favorite boss was Moonlord, and my least favorite boss is Skeletron Prime. Both of those have changed. Well, as time has gone on, I've realized Moonlord, as amazing of a spectacle as his fight is, it's not all that well designed. I think there's too much going on. He overwhelms you with a ton of attacks that you couldn't possibly dodge all of at once. And a Lantern Knight, that's very fitting. I believe Lantern Knights happen randomly after you defeat Moonlord, so this is quite fitting. I think it's from Deerclops, though. So my new favorite boss is actually Empress of Light, and especially now that I know that there's a way easier way to farm Prismatic Lacewings, I love Empress of Light so much. I actually might fight her real quick. Do I have Lacewings in here, right? I could also fight Duke Fishron. Duke Fishron is a very close second place in terms of favorite bosses. And I also love the twins. And I fought Skeletron Prime again, and I've realized this guy is actually a lot of fun. Skeletron Prime is really fun. I don't know why I didn't like him before. Like, the only reason I didn't is because I thought his boss took a while. And yeah, it does, but he's got a lot of, like, stuff going on. A lot of stuff to avoid. His limbs flail around everywhere, and it's fun. It's fun. I don't know what the hell's wrong with me. We're gonna try to fight her with the Terrarian. But yeah, overall, I think my new least favorite boss is actually Brain of Cthulhu, because I fought Brain of Cthulhu a little more. And I just enjoy fighting him by far the least out of any boss in the entire game. It's just like, I think one of his biggest crimes is that he can just teleport on top of you. Whether or not that's intentional, it's stupid, and it shouldn't ever happen, but it does, and I kind of hate that. It means, like, avoiding damage is essentially luck. And I don't know, the fight is just too short and too simple other than that to carry him, because, like, there are some janky bosses I like Skeletron... The Destroyer is a pretty janky boss, and I like it. Duke Fishron's a pretty janky boss, and I like Duke Fishron, but Brain of Cthulhu is just, he lasts 3 seconds, and it's just not, he's fun. It's not like he's terrible. Oh, yes, I got the Starlight on this world. Yes! I can't believe that. I may have already gotten it on the world. I don't know. I don't think I have. I don't think I've played on this world and fought Empress of Light since I ended the playthrough. But I got the Starlight! Yes! I love this thing. But yeah, I think you get the point. New favorite, least favorite boss. Empress of Light is amazing, and Brain of Cthulhu is somewhat annoying to fight, and just kind of too simple and somewhat boring and underwhelming at worst. As for other updated opinions, you know how my biggest complaint with this game was actually the spawning system? And while I still think it's kind of annoying at lower screen resolutions, since I have gotten this PC and played the game at constant 1080p for a while now, it's actually not that bad anymore. Hey, it's giving me a second chance. Why not? Let's go with it. Let's go. I'm gonna fight her with the Starlight this time. It's actually not that bad anymore. I would like to give it a free pass, an official free pass, seal of approval from me. Because yeah, it's not as bad as I once thought. It's been a lot more tolerable, and I think that's because the enemies now spawn farther away. There's still some annoying quirks, like how enemies still spawn during boss fights, especially stuff like Empress of Light, which I don't think should happen. Like, they're spawning so much, seriously, but I think a part of that is because I'm wearing melee armor. This is another thing to add to my list of mistakes. Part of that is I'm wearing melee armor, and I guess I really underestimated how much increases this distance at which enemies target you would do, because that actually might be the reason I seem to be pestered by enemies a lot more than it would seem. Because, I mean, the whole, like, enemies see you from further away is based on their aggro mechanic, which is separate from the spawning system. It doesn't increase their spawn rate, it simply means they can see you from further away. So it's possible that a lot of spawns were, in the past, just not seeing me, and so they just remained off screen only to despawn. But then, because they can see me a lot easier, they come on screen a lot more, and so I encounter more of them. That would be another thing to add to my list of mistakes, as a result. Do I already have the Kaleidoscope? I don't think I do. So in that case, I'm keeping this. That's really good. So yeah, spawning system isn't my biggest complaint in this game anymore, and honestly, I have no idea what my biggest complaint is. I mean, I don't like farming the Lunar Invasion. I probably wouldn't like farming any event if I had to. Unless it was, like, a job that I got paid for, then I would actually be happy to, but, it isn't, and it never will be. I guess Plantera bulbs, I'm with the community on this one. I think that Plantera should have had a craftable item. Because, like, finding a Plantera bulb is probably the worst way to spawn a boss. Because, you know, the underground, the jungle caves are huge, and they could be anywhere, and they grow in pretty slowly, and it's, farming out the Seedler from Plantera was really annoying because of that. I couldn't just make a bunch of items, spawner in, spawner in, spawner in. I had to go find a new one each time. And building a Plantera arena can also be annoying, and if you fail that attempt of Plantera, that means you have to go find another bulb, and it's just annoying. And, of course, there are a bunch of minor gripes I have. Speaking of Plantera bulbs, yeah, okay, there is a little, animation to them. I think there might be a couple other minor gripes I have with this game, that if I were to go over, this video would end up lasting us another year, and I think it's gone on long enough already, so instead, how about I talk about stuff I just love about this game? There's a couple things in particular. For one thing, I really liked how the class system is done, because I never really got my full thoughts on it out in the playthrough, but I was actually about to. But I started playing Fallout New Vegas recently, and I mean, like, at the start of these RPGs, you get all these options, you get to make your character in this way, or that. I have a bunch of Plantera trophies, so I don't mind throwing them away. Like, you could set all your skills, you could set your stat points, you could set them differently each playthrough, you get to decide, you choose the type of character right out of the gate. And for a game full of freedom and choices and stuff, that sounds great, and it probably increases the replayability for a lot of people. But for a first playthrough, I don't know about you guys, but I see all those options, and I'm, like, kind of uncertain. I'm very uncertain, actually. Not even kind of. I'm very uncertain of what I should even pick. I went with kind of a basic character in my Fallout New Vegas playthrough, if you're wondering. I didn't really change the stats that much. But basically, like, how do I know which character I should go for if I haven't played the game yet, and I don't know which characters the game actually has room for? Ideally, the game is made so that... Ooh, life fruit. I mean, thank you for pointing it out, but it's not that useful. Ideally, the game would balance the skills and stuff the right way so that, basically, no matter what you pick, you get a very similar experience. But you don't know if the game does that. It's not like... You don't know if the game's like Dark Souls, where the class you pick from the start of the game can make the game significantly easier or harder for yourself, and you have no idea whatsoever, so you can end up picking a class that makes it hard for yourself when you didn't really want that. Yeah, like, that's my main problem is, all these options may be nice for repeat playthroughs, but for a first playthrough, I always have this huge sense of uncertainty making a character, because I don't know what all this stuff does. I haven't played the game before. I don't know if what I'm picking is a good idea, a bad idea, some idea. And that's why I like how Terraria does it. You design your character's appearance, and choose if they drop their items on death or not. And then, from there, each character starts out exactly the same. Same 3 tools, same abilities, slightly different world each time. That's it. And then you get to decide as you play what class you want to make. You don't have to choose right off the bat. And you can switch whenever you want. Or you don't even have to adhere to one specific class. You could play multi-class, with the consequence being that it won't be as effective. You won't be as high in damage output otherwise. I left these torches up. Take them down. Take them down. This is a crime. And so I just love how Terraria's class system does it. You know, you get to decide as you're playing. That's basically what I like about it. So instead of repeating myself a million times, I'm gonna end it there. And then, one thing about this game that I think goes kind of undermentioned in how awesome it is in the adventure genre, the vanity items. This is a genius idea. How often have you played an adventure game, and you want to, like, dress your character up in a set of armor that you think looks cool, but if you do that, you get a disadvantage. You don't get the defense you need for something. You don't get any extra bonuses that other armor might give you, but if you think that armor looks bad, then, like, you're in this predicament where you either make the game harder for yourself. If you're not that good at the game, then you kind of need the actually good armor to progress, but the good armor doesn't look that good, and you can't ever, like, wear the stuff you want. And that's something that basically every other adventure game I can think of, except Terraria, does. But Terraria solves it by giving you the vanity items. You could put, like, anything here and make your character look however you want, while still getting the effects of the regular armor. And, like, Just check this out. There's a huge difference between this and this. And I get to go with the Beetle armor because I like how the Beetle armor looks, but I still have all the effects of solar. That's really, really cool. I cannot tell you just how much I love that system. It is an excellent idea, and it gives you so much room for player expression, player creativity, and it also gives the developers room to... I was gonna pull up the duplication menu to show it off, and I forgot this is not a journey character. So, this is not a journey world, so yeah, sorry, can't do that. But it also gives the developers freedom to add in a bunch of items that is just for vanity, such as, you know, the radio thing. Literally all this does is the filter. This would have very little use outside of it, but if you want, it's here, and it shouldn't take up too much space because there are 5 entire accessory slots. It's an excellent idea. More games needed this. More games need a vanity item system. I don't know why it's not a common thing in a lot of games. This is just an excellent idea. Everyone, please start copying Terraria. Because, like, even Minecraft has the same kind of thing. And also, an extra thing is, what if you make your character, you design it, and then you cover them up in armor, and you don't even get to really see them that often? Or it's like... in Fallout New Vegas or Skyrim, you're in first person, and unless you play in third person with the weird, wonky third person systems that clearly aren't designed for that alone, you don't get to see your character. At least in Minecraft, when you open the inventory, you see your character there, but then you cover them up in armor. So it's like, you could spend a while designing a skin, and then as soon as you get armor, boom, there goes your skin, except your face. That's it. All you get is your face and arms. And then in Terraria, you have the familiar set, which, I can show off. And boom, just like that. This is your base character, but you still have armor on. You still have defense, you still have the bonuses. That is an excellent idea. And the same thing goes for accessories. I love that you can toggle on and off pets. There's a lot of just, like, nice, convenient systems that you know that players would just mod in if they weren't there, so the developers just decide to add them in because they can. And then there's a couple minor things, like... I think the last thing is... all the moving parts. Minecraft, in comparison, is a very static game. It's got, like... if nothing else is happening, if no music is playing, it's just total silence, and unless a mob is moving on screen, it's a completely still game. And you know what? That's fine. But I do like how Terraria just has all this moving stuff in it. The cursor pulsates, the heart up here, on the classic style, the heart you're on, and the mana star you're on pulsates, and the text fades in from a brighter and darker white. And even this text up here does the same. Basically every text in the game does. And, most subtly, if I go somewhere with a dark background, you'll even notice the inventory slots will pulsate from brighter blue to darker blue. Everything does. It's just all these moving parts and all the background objects, the sun moving through the sky, the clouds, the flickers of the torches, and all these crafting stations with their animations. They give the game a lot of life. And it's something that I really like. And including, like, your character blinking. And even stuff like the solar flare shield and the hot air balloons rising. Makes the game feel so full of life, and I really like that. I could go on and on and on about this, but... this video is, what, 4 hours now? So let's stop there. This has been the bonus video of my Terraria playthrough. I surely hope that if you found... sorry about that, I turned down my volume in my headset and got confused. Sorry. If you enjoyed this video, and you haven't seen my regular Terraria playthrough, you can go watch it if you want. It is lower resolution, it's 720p, and it's slightly blurrier, I would think. And I wasn't as good as commentary. That was honestly a cool bit of progression, though, throughout the series. I got better and better with commentary. I sounded more and more enthusiastic by the end, and here we are now. If you do watch it, I hope you enjoy it. It's my personal favorite thing I've done on this channel. I don't think anything is going to top it in a while. And I'm very glad I could make this bonus video to just cap the entire, to cap that series off. Because that series was so much fun to make. I was able to experiment with a lot of different things, like the skit I did in episode 16. That was a cool thing to put together. It's strange to think that I was still using iMovie as my editing software back when that started. And then when the iMovie started injecting pops and audio stupidness in my videos, I decided, you know, let's use a different editing software. Terraria is an incredible ride, and I must say this again. I said this at the end of that playthrough, but I must say it again. if this game seems any at all interesting to you, play it. It is $10, and it is perhaps the best $10 I've ever spent. I mean, this is probably my second favorite video game of all time behind Minecraft, and I've honestly played it more than Minecraft lately because the adventure content, I prefer doing that over Minecraft stuff, and yeah, this is just... If you like the idea of this game, play it. Go freaking play it. And I just have to say, thank you, Relogic, for making this. This game is amazing. It's one of the best I've played in a long time, and I can't believe that when I first played it, I brushed it off as a 2D Minecraft clone, because, wow, it is so much more than that. Give this a shot, 100%. With that out of the way. Next time, on Terraria, I have finished a playthrough on Medium Core, and I'll tell you all about it. So thank you all for watching, if you did watch. And as always, I will see you all in the future.